Welcome, everyone, to episode 11 of the Quarantine Cast here on Beyond the Brick. Today, we have a super awesome Lego Mario live stream for you with a bunch of incredible guests. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll jump on in. Welcome back to Beyond the Brick. I'm Joshua Hanlon, joined as always by Brian Saviano, Bricks O'Brien here on the Quarantine Cast. And today we are super excited to have several other big Mario fans with us. You know how excited Brian has been for Mario. He's been talking about it on every stream, but we are happy to have BrickinNick back with us on this stream. He was with us several weeks ago on one of our episodes as well. And then we have Jonathan, the Lego designer, who worked on all of these incredible Mario sets as well with us. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us to chat today.
It's great to be here. I'm so excited to just spend more time with all this amazing Lego Super Mario goodness.
Cool. Awesome to be here. And yeah, it's a very, very exciting day for us at the Lego team and the Nintendo team, working so long and putting in so much blood, sweat, and tears into this project, and then finally having the day where we show it to the world. And really honored to be here with you and then talk a little bit more about it.
Thank you so much. And I do want to mention in the chat, for anyone who has questions, definitely make sure to put those in there, and we'll be keeping an eye on that. We'll feed those questions over to Jonathan if you have a question about the sets, or if you just have a question about kind of gameplay in general, and any of us who have tried these sets out can answer that and give you our feedback and thoughts on what we've been able to do so far. We're more than happy to do that. So our goal with this stream is definitely to get, as many questions answered as possible. We've got plenty of time here, so we want to make sure everyone comes away from this with as much Mario knowledge as possible. But to start us off, we'll talk about the reason we got the Mario sets early, which was the big Lego Mario Global Championship. And so, Jonathan, if you just want to explain kind of what these calls were and kind of how this all worked from your end.
Yeah, so normally when we launch like a big new theme at Lego, we host events where we invite journalists, YouTubers like yourself to come to a location and kind of join us to celebrate it. But of course, with the COVID-19 situation, we couldn't do that. So we're looking for an alternative. And and then we came up with this idea of having Lego Super Mario Championships online, where we send out a selection of the sets to journalists, to YouTubers, adult fans of Lego Aprils, and kind of have them compete in a fun way. Lego Mario is all about trying it yourself. We can talk about it all you want, and you can see videos, but once you hold this little guy in your hand, you just kind of slowly start falling in love with him, or at least we hope that you do, like we did. For you guys to try it out yourselves, so we sent the sets, and we gave you a brief that you had to build a level for the championships. And then during the 1 hour live or 1 hour stream that we did, here you see Melvin Odum, he is the host of Lego Masters UK, a fantastic, energetic presenter who has a big heart for Lego as well. So we contacted him and asked if he could host these sessions, to moderate a little bit between the questions that you guys asked, and to just give the sessions some life, and he's done that fantastically. And then we asked you to kind of play that level, get your coin score, show it to the screen. I was there judging the creativity of the levels. We don't like to judge too much, but I think it was more kind of out of lightheartedness, fun, and to kind of see what stories you guys had with the levels, and then what thought you put into it. And we also had a little challenge with the Piranha Sliders to see who could get the most amount of coins. And this was the lovely studio that we were in. Fortunately, I have to be in the office today because it was really cool standing next to Bowser and Mario, as you can imagine. But yeah, that's kind of the event we did, and we had you guys all in the same session together with, I think, 5 more Aprils YouTubers, and I think we had a blast. I really enjoyed the session.
And it was super fun. Yeah, and your studio just blew me away. When we first saw that shot of your studio, I was like, wow, there's some serious production went into that.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for that, and I'll pass it on to the team. I'm like amazing with that. We're still hoping we could get a few Bowsers maybe because they shipped us 3 of them each, a Bowser and a Mario instead of 1. So the secret plan is to be able to take one home, but I think they want them all back.
Awesome stuff. And I'm going to mention real quick, I've seen a lot of questions coming through in chat about like future sets. So that's something that, Lego designers in general and Jonathan really can't speak to what future sets will be coming out. So if you have those questions, unfortunately, there's not a lot he can say about that, except he can either confirm nor deny or something that we have to move on. So if you do have a question, I would avoid asking about the future sets because that's just not something we can really talk about right now. But any questions about the current products that are announced, we can certainly chat about and answer all of those questions as well. And I want to give a big shout out to Nick, who did win the whole call in our tournament. So there, like you said, there were about 10 different contestants, 8 or 10 different contestants there. So congratulations on that, Nick. Here's the level that you had built. What do you have to say about your championship winning build here?
It was a lot of fun, and honestly, like I'm a little disappointed no one else grabbed their own Lego bricks to make something of their own for it. I just felt like the Lego Mario stuff really lended itself super well to like getting creative with it. The map idea came pretty quickly and was luckily reasonably easy to put together. Let me see if I can get it on camera for you guys here. Oh no, I gotta set something up afterwards, but I'll get that up and running in a bit. But yeah, it's I don't know, it was a lot of fun to just be able to kind of do my normal thing, which is getting creative with Lego with all of these sets. And I don't know, it was just super duper fun bringing it to life. And it was obviously very exciting to be the winner. So thank you again, Jonathan, for picking my build.
Yeah, that was easy, man. I think, like you said, you put in your own bricks and your own creativity, and that's what the product is all about. And I hope that with this stream today as well, that fans out there realize that, of course, we've built an assortment that we'd love for you to try, but it is in the end all about being creative, and we made sure that the color scanner read those 4 basic colors, so green, blue, red, and yellow, and you can get coins on those, so you can just totally chuck in your own bricks and start already building levels now, but definitely once you have the set. So yeah.
Exactly. That's the beauty of the whole system. And then Brian, we want to make sure we play a clip from the call that we had, because Brian went all in on the story, which was incredible.
So good.
Really amazing level that he set up here. So Brian, before we play this clip from the call, is there anything you want to introduce this with?
No, it was something that I had in mind from whenever I do my own videos. My own sort of shtick is just thinking up something and just rolling with it. If it's outlandish, that's great. Just keep rolling with it. So I didn't know if I would get a positive reaction or a cringy reaction, but I just knew I'd get a reaction, so I went with it.
That's fantastic. So, John, if you want to share that clip, then we can watch this. This is Brian showing off his level for the first time to everyone on the call.
On to Brian now. Hello, Brian.
Well, hello here. So my level has a little bit of a story to it as well. So with any great Mario adventure, you need a little bit of direction on where to go. So there's an arrow to start. And whenever I start a grand adventure, I always need a little bit of help from my friends. So we have Toad and Toadette here to greet Mario as he exits the warp pipe and paints a picture of the conflict happening down toward this area here, where Buzzy Beetle Benny has taken over the highest tower that was once owned by Bowser Jr. He's been kicked off, and Bowser Jr. was so mad that all he had left to claim was half of the tree. So he's defending that half of the tree. Kenny Koopa isn't having any of that nonsense, trying to dethrone Bowser Jr. off the tree. So as Mario gets along through his journey, claims the power, the mushroom here, and a couple of these numbered blocks here for some extra coins and points, makes his way through the perilous platforms, stealthily navigates the lava, uses the Catsuit ability to climb the perilous tower, and not only defeat Buzzy Beetle Benny, but get the most valuable treasure that you can possibly have in life, more time. Using that time, rides onto the cloud there, bonks onto Bowser Jr., gets rid of him. Does Mario defeat Kenny Koopa? I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. Hops over to one of the final platforms, and obviously, to end it off, the triple Goomba stack. 1, 2, 3. Bam, to the goal we go. Will Mario be able to make it? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Brian, I'm
Is that a good reaction
my
or
Netflix account? Just come to my house and tell me stories all day long, man. That was
This is so
amazing.
funny.
Great storytelling once again. This is awesome, man. Jonathan, what were your thoughts on that?
Oh, this is so awesome. I have tears in my eyes. That's so funny. Just the idea of like splitting the tree in half, but he's still kind of defending the half of the tree that he has left. And then you're getting the most valuable thing in life. I was like, is it going to be Princess Peach or is it going to be, Power-Up? But no, it's just very simple. More time. We all want more time. So yeah, well done. And I like the triple Goombas, like stacking them, because that's what you do in Mario games. But yeah. Awesome.
There you go, Brian.
Yeah, that was a great one. I thought a lot about my level design, both from a design perspective and the story, because Mario games are known for the platforming and known for adding a lot of character to the levels, regardless of what game it is. So I knew I had to pack in some references there, and that's just a lot of the nonsense that I normally do whenever I play games. I come up with names for characters and things that happen, and those different things that happen to Bowser Jr., like, oh, he's so mad that he just takes half the tree. Like, that totally is something Bowser Jr. would do because he always wants control of the situation when his father doesn't. So I just rolled with it, and I'm glad that you liked it, Jonathan. Appreciate that response. Thank you.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I think I was when we kind of started the live streams, the judging of creativity doesn't it doesn't feel right because everything is with Lego is fine. But I think I said, like, I want to look for a pretty level. I want to look for like using your own bricks. I want to look for a good story. And I think you had the best story out of all of them. So that was a pretty easy decision. I just love
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Jonathan, on the different calls that you did with people, because these were with people all around the world, right? That participate in these calls in different regions around the world.
Yes, yeah, we had we started out at 8:00 in the morning local time with APAC region, Asia Pacific. So we had Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Singapore. India, and then in the afternoons we had Romania, as Lego calls it. So that is Eastern Europe, Russia, and the Middle East. And then in the late afternoon we had Western Europe, and then in the evenings we had the US. So it was packed days from 8 till 8. But so much fun, and just the energy of like seeing everybody's builds, and a lot of journalists and YouTubers, they asked their kids to join, which I found was very fun. And as a designer, it was kind of a sneak peek into people's living room, where you're normally, of course, not allowed to do that. But here we could like see people updating Mario if that needed to be. We could see kids kind of talking about it in a natural environment. Of course, we do focus group kits where kids sign of course, with consent of their parents, but they sign a little paper that they're not allowed to talk about what they've just played with. But then it's always a little bit, you can test experience. Well, if certain things are intuitive or not, or, you can kind of gauge the level of fun. But you can't kind of gauge if kids are going to play with it and keep playing with it. And that's what we got from those live streams, where some journalists were like, I don't even have the sets right now because my kid's been playing with it all week. And I was like, yes, that is a success.
Right. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we'll have to wait and see how the product does, and if people like it and if people keep liking it. But this was a fun way of our first taste of reality. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so super unique. I think John has a screenshot of the final result scores as well, so we can share that. So there you go. You can see. Oh, let's see. This is before.
Yeah, this is just based on the score of the levels.
Yes.
This is when Brian still had hope that.
Oh, right. Yeah. This was when Brian had so much hope in his eyes before Nick came in with the multiplier.
I'm sorry, I'm not creative like Nick. All right, I just wanted to optimize the best level I could. Sorry.
Anyway, so this that just gives you an idea of some of that was the combined scores from the level playthrough, and then also the Piranha Plant Slide, which I have to say, Jonathan, like at first when I first built the sets, the Piranha Slide to me was like super frustrating. I was like, oh, like how does this work? I can't seem to actually get any coins from it and everything. But once you put in the time to actually kind of figure out, okay, how can you actually get them to slide back and forth properly? What works the best? Then it becomes a really fun part of the level as you interact with it, sliding it back and forth. So I know you talked about on the call how that was some of your favorite of the Mario products that we had been using. And I can definitely see that it grows on you a lot as you use it more.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really good kind of manifestation of what we mean with bringing game mechanics to Lego play, and especially Mario game mechanics, because Mario is a platformer, so he should be on platforms. But we kind of like it when you are not directly controlling Mario. So when he's kind of indirectly moving on platforms. So the rotator platform in the starter set is where you rotate the other end of the stick. Not you don't hold Mario yourself. There's no danger there. And with the Piranha Slider, it is really about like controlling the function. And he has low battery, so you can see how that looks. After 15-20 hours of playing, he goes into
a little tired. Just put him in the hammock with Mario's house. He'll recharge that way. It's fine.
I don't think it works like sleep. What? I have a replacement. This set is really all about that, seeing him move and skill. It is something that's relatively easy to learn. There's actually some skill in mastering it, and today I got my record broken by a French YouTuber, so that was quite frustrating.
Nice.
I liked Brian. What explain kind of the strategy you found with that with the slider and how you kind of found worked best for that.
So what I found in video games, it translated to this pretty well. So you don't focus necessarily on where Mario is, because your reaction time, as good as you might think it is, it doesn't necessarily be polished up when you're on that slide. So what I paid attention to were the 3 tiles that were on the rail there. So there's 3 tiles that kind of connect every part of that Piranha Plant Slide together. So if you focus on where the cart is when it goes toward that furthest left or right tile, then all right, now is the time to turn to the other side, because my reaction time, even though I'm a professional gamer, is not quick enough to when Mario goes all the way to the end. And I found myself hitting the Piranha more and more if I were paying attention to him rather than just paying attention to the tiles. So that's how I got a fairly high score. I think you two also had that same strategy to get a relatively high score, right?
Yeah, I was definitely super focused on where the cart was. Yeah, that was definitely my level of strategy there. It totally wasn't just let's hope I don't mess this up and do our best. But yeah, we'll go with your answer for sure.
There we go. Right.
I tried to. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, definitely the deepest analysis I've heard so far.
Well, there we go. Bringing something new to the table every time,
That's the goal. And I did want to start pulling some questions in from chat as well. So one question, Jonathan, that I've seen on a few different places now and that Cal had in the chat here is why did you decide to go with batteries inside the Mario versus something that's maybe rechargeable so that people didn't have to buy batteries to refill it every time it ran out?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think when you look at the toy industry, there's a lot of battery powered toys out there. The really straight answer is that we want to be able to make this product for a lot of fans. And Mario and Lego, they have a lot of fans, and they're rechargeable batteries that simply increases the price. and it would come to a certain level where it is, affordable for the likes of you guys who have their whole back wall filled with Lego bricks, but not for the like the younger kids who don't have so much pocket money. So it's all about the affordability in the end. After we took that decision, we have worked a lot on saving battery life. So if you have 2 alkaline batteries, you last for between 15 and 20 hours of play, which is a lot of time. Also considering that you're doing a lot of building, and while you're building, so if you put Mario on, if you just don't move him, basically, I'll demonstrate it here. He goes into a power saving mode. So after 30 seconds, the sensor underneath turns off, and also his LCD screen dims to 50%. Not so bad that you can't see that he's alive anymore, but it saves enough battery to increase the life even further, so that when you are, I think, he's still on, you'll see him going off in a little while. So yeah, there we go. Now he's
okay.
It's a little bit dimmed, and the sensor underneath turns off as well. And of course, it's an optical sensor, so it uses a lot less power than, let's say, RFID, which is something that we tried with first. So that would only give like an hour or 2 battery lives, and then we felt like we need rechargeable batteries. But since we managed to push that battery life so far, that we felt that this was the right decision to just have as many kids enjoy it.
Right. Yeah.
And of course, you can, what we do in the office, we have rechargeable batteries. So you can just put in your own AAA rechargeable batteries.
That's true. So you can always use rechargeable batteries, which kind of solves the problem then.
Yeah.
And Brian, I think you mentioned in your review, which I thought was an interesting point, about how those batteries also add weight to it as well, which could be kind of another benefit to the playability of the sets.
Yeah, even just a little bit of weight from what I've experienced with other toys and whatnot, like that is a little bit better than having an actual weight inside of there. So it's a bit more evenly distributed, because when you pick up and play with a toy, you don't want it to necessarily feel hollow. And I feel when you typically have a Lego minifigure, it's a small enough little character that it doesn't feel hollow, even though the inside is. So Mario, there's technology in there, but the batteries, even just 2 AAA batteries, add a little bit more weight to it, make it so, it's not just some light thing that you're carrying around, because technology in there only does so much. So that's what I came up with. So if you want to use that PR answer when you're talking about the AAA batteries, you can go right ahead. That's fine.
I changed my answer. Yeah. Live. Yeah, I should have answered like that. Okay.
There it is.
We actually made sure that the batteries are in the center of the figure, because of this reason, and his whole size is defined around those batteries. We have this engineer who takes a lot of pride in making sure that he was as small as we can make him with those batteries. So he has fought tooth and nail to. The engineers really wanted to have him 1 plate higher, but he was like adamant. No, we can do this. We can make it like because of course you need some air inside to have shock absorbance. So there actually went some pretty hardcore engineering into it to make sure that he's still safe and Lego quality, but he's as small as we can make it. You're right, with that technology, that got to have some give. I remember myself going on the Nintendo forums back in the 90s, and I asked about the weight of the GameCube, where I was wondering if it got some weight to it, and then the developer actually answered, yeah, it's got some give, and I was really happy, because it just feels like you've bought something that has a certain quality.
I love that you mentioned that, because you mentioned going all the way back to the 90s, going on Nintendo forums and being kind of active in that fan community, which just shows kind of how long you've been a fan of Nintendo, and why you're such a good person to represent Lego and Nintendo and Mario coming together here, because you've obviously been involved with both of these for a long time.
Yeah, well, thanks for saying that, but again, I have to give a shout out to the team who has. It's not difficult to find the Mario fans, as you can imagine. Okay, now after 5 minutes, Mario turns off, as you can see, and then to make him look cool. If he's asleep, you can actually put the cap with watch power. So he again, this is Nintendo wanted him to make sure that you don't see the black in his eyes. So you can put the cap like this, and then you can put him. There's another small little anecdote. But yeah, it's been a huge honor and a humbling journey to work with the creators of the Mario games. I didn't know I could have that dream, to be honest.
And then I had another question from chat here. Yes, shout out to Hugo for the super chat donation to Brian's lunch fund. And also want to have his question. So he's wondering, can Mario recognize more colors than the main 4 colors that we've seen examples of so far? For instance, King Boo's base is orange. Can he recognize that and some of those other colors in the upcoming sets?
No, for now he is limited to those 4 colors. Of course, the barcodes, as you can see, they have multiple colors in there. So he can recognize those colors, but those are kind of restricted to the barcode use. So we have the 4 colors that Mario recognizes, and of course you can use a lighter shade of green. You can use probably the Star Wars red as well. But it's just that color sensors are very tricky to make. It sounds very easy, but then you have to take in conditions that are, what if you have a bright living room in Dubai where you have like so much light coming in that really overpowers the sensor, or you have a very dark room. Of course, we know that a lot of people play at night as well, and then you have, of course, over time certain bricks. If you put them in the sunlight, they fade. So you have to, you have to make sure that works. So there's a lot of variables, and that I also thought, like, how hard can it be? It turns out it's quite hard to make it a quality product that will always work. And that is in any lighting condition, with any sensor tolerance, because each sensor that you make, each CMOS chip has a certain tolerance to it. Then each lens that you make has a certain tolerance to it, and then of course each brick that you have. The colors don't have the tolerance, but of course the lighting. So all these factors together, we just wanted to make sure that Mario reads the colors that he does very well, and that's why we ended up with these 4.
Sure, that makes sense. So you really make sure you hone in on those main colors and make sure that works perfectly.
Yes, exactly.
Another question from eLogger in the chat. What is your favorite sound that Mario makes? And this could be a question for everybody. So we can start with you, Jonathan, but then Brian and Nick, if you want to chime in here as well.
This one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
To be honest, it's. Can I repick? Because I think it has to be this one. Yeah, if you're a fan of Mario, you recognize his voice. He's Charles Martinet, and we actually got him to say Lego Mario time for us. And that was just such a geek moment when you received that sound file and you're like, wow, we come up with a product and the voice of Mario is actually spoken into our product. So that has to be my favorite voice.
How about you, Brian? Did any stand out to you?
Yeah, so as soon as I was testing out Mario and putting him on the different environments and he was walking across the lava, I immediately was brought back after leaving him on there for a little while. He goes like, ha, 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 just like in Mario 64, him like bouncing on the lava. I'm picturing it in Lethal Lava Land right now, like just that sound clip playing over and over again as he's bouncing through. So that by far is my favorite sound so far, of what we have so far.
Nick, what about you?
Yeah, I really like when you swap him out. He gives you a little bit of a Mamma Mia because you've taken him apart there a little bit. So I really, really do like that he's got a reaction to when he's changing outfits. I thought that was super duper fun, and I just love the way he says it.
And then we actually just got Justin in here, so I'm glad.
I was like, yeah. I was wondering if you guys could hear, because I always have problems with these streams popping on. For some reason my mic's never detected or whatever. So what's up, guys? Sorry, I'm a little late on this one, but oh shoot, even Jonathan's here. Holy crud!
Yep,
you got the official designer himself. Whoa.
Yep. We were just talking, Justin, about your favorite sound that Mario makes. So as you've been trying out the sets, did anything stand out to you? As far as the playability?
Well, I like when I took off when I first put on his trousers, and then I took off the trousers to put on the catsuit. He said "Mamma Mia" too, so like I don't know if
You
that
have
was
good taste,
because I
Justin.
took it
You
off.
have good taste.
Yeah, so there you go. So that was mine probably, but yeah, I love how he has all these sounds to interact with everything, and I like how a lot of them are also sound effects from the game because you know that makes me very happy. But I appreciate that. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many neat features that I think are callbacks to the various games and everything. And speaking of features, here's another question from the chat, Jonathan, from Mini Brick Productions. Was there any features that you would have wanted to include but just weren't technologically feasible, kind of in the Mario figure itself, or really any part of the sets in general, where the technology just couldn't do it for what you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a designer, so I always want more features, sensors, actuators. You know, give it all to us. But I think I can probably talk about two of them that we didn't use in the end. And one of them is a microphone, so that you know you could talk to him. We didn't do that for two reasons. First of all, it needs a lot of processing power to recognize each. Um, and then second, there is no, like, we always have to look back at why is this Lego? Of course, talking and having an interactive character, that would be something Nintendo. But what is the Lego DNA in it? And then talking to Mario, it will be fun, sure, but it's not a necessity for the level. And then we felt it was actually, it was just something that you might want to try. You know, when you test kids, with kind of some kids would just start talking to him, which is cool. But then he didn't react, and then move on. So that's why we didn't pick that feature. The other one was a little vibration motor, so like in your phone or in your PlayStation controller. That would be fun, but that caused a lot of troubles, especially with the accelerometer and the gyro, and and even the power sensor itself. So that we took that out because again it'll be fun, but it's not a necessity. And then we went in the end for the sensors that for two kind of suites of technology, you could say. One, the sensors are there to recognize bricks. So the color sensor and the camera recognizes the 4 Lego colors and the action brick. And then the other sensor in there is the accelerometer and gyro. And that reacts to the Piranha Slide, the rotating platform, the Bowser battle, running and jumping with him, which is for Mario, of course. So that reacts to the bricks. And then the other suite is like components is about bringing Mario to life, which is a really big, passion point for Tezuka-san, who is the creative lead on Nintendo's side, the co-creator of Mario, and a member of the board of Nintendo. And he every call was like every Monday and Thursday we have calls, every workshop. Fantastic. But he has this big passion for bringing Mario to life. And that needs to have a speaker and display. We've also tried without the display, for instance, because it's also quite costly component. It would take down further to make it more accessible. But in the end, he didn't feel alive. He didn't have the screen. Also, the experience is not really shareable. If you don't have the display, where you can now you can make funny things, you can make him look funny, and then show it to someone. That social shareable moment is something that again Suzuka-san pointed out. Like, this is social Lego play, or shareable Lego play, because you can show what you do to Mario. Like, you pull off the pants, he says "Mamma Mia," and it looks kind of scary. That's just a moment to share with him. So we went for it's been a very, very careful consideration technology to put in there and what not to put in.
Right. And there were so many. I think before we went live here, you actually mentioned there were like 50 or 60 different people involved working on this for years, before these final products came out. So there are so many different people, I'm sure, from both the Nintendo side and the Lego side that were getting involved with this and kind of putting in their creative input and trying to ensure that every aspect of these was as good as it could possibly be.
Yeah, definitely, and especially if you have such a beloved brand such as Mario. We all tend to go kind of above and beyond, and to make sure that the product is, the best it can be. You don't. I mean, on one hand, it's a job, of course, because you need to eat, but it's so much more than that. Just the passion that is in at least definitely my team. That some of us are more kind of the strategic thinkers, like myself including, like what is the play concept, and why would we be playing this, or what's the system, and then the other part of the team is all about making Mario cute. And then, of course, you have the team that is the building team, which is not part of my team because I'm the digital lead, but that is led by another Lego design manager. And they are just so passionate about what they can do with bricks. And, they came up with this whole modular system that we introduced for this line so kids can really rearrange their levels. So the play concept that we together came up with to make that work with Lego bricks is the second step in that. So, and again, so awesome to finally have it out there and talk to it about with you guys, and seeing it in your hands, and having Brian figure out best mechanics to get having a voice, which is a consideration of what he should say. So it's so cool to see you guys appreciating that work.
Yeah, and as more sets get in people's hands, there's going to be even more expansive levels. Adding the time onto one level can really extend what you can do with just one run. So I'm waiting to get everything, and then, all right, if I make like the ultimate level, if I have like one of everything, all right, what can I really do here? I can go from Toad Town all the way to Bowser's Castle. Can I pull it off? Just have to wait and see. So it's going to be a lot of things you can play with once you get your hands on everything.
I think a lot of us are excited to kind of see what the full lineup will allow you to do. I think from what I've seen, there's 2 time blocks. So is the maximum time, Jonathan, about like 2, maybe 2:15 if you get the bonus from the question block?
No. So the time blocks are actually the same. So like that, the Goomba are all the same, they have the same reaction. Some of them are actually different because they unlock the sets. So in the app, you have to build the first character, and that unlocks the building instructions in the app for the other. So some of them are different, but they have the same reaction. And the time block is actually also the same code. So you would have 60 seconds plus 30 seconds, so that's 90. And then you get 15 seconds for the question mark block. Then you have the chance to get star power, which passes the level time for 10 seconds.
Oh, there we go. I didn't know the star power paused the level time, so that's another awesome thing to learn there.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Oh, crud.
It turns out when you talk to the person who created the product, it's like
you can learn a couple of things.
That's what's so fun about these. Even speaking from my perspective, and Brian and I have talked about this on a lot of past streams where Brian goes on and on about how amazing Mario is and how much he loves it and everything. And I'm much more of a casual Mario fan. I've played some of the games over the years, but certainly nothing compared to Brian or
I'm slowly converting you. Don't you worry.
Yeah, a little bit at a time. That's each stream. but for me, it was just so amazing. Once I actually had the sets in my hands, started building them, and then getting to experiment with all those different elements of the levels, you just get so drawn into it. And I think that's one thing that a lot of people will find who are maybe questioning the idea of should it be, these more playable levels versus just display models like a lot of other Lego themes. Once people actually get these sets, I think, in their hands and get to play with them, it definitely changes your perspective on everything once you can try it out.
Yeah, exactly. You only feel you start feeling the love of Mario once you hold him, and I don't know. I don't think they're too shabby display models either when you look at Bowser's Castle.
Oh yeah, Bowser's Castle is great, and oh yeah.
Like yourself, even though of course one of the principles in the project was from display to play. A lot of Lego models do end up on the shelf, and that's fine as well. But of course, Lego is about creativity and rebuilding. We wanted to make a line that is not just pretty, but can also be played with. Where normally, for instance, when we design the boxes, we always say model is king. For this project, we said play is king. So we want to show what the play is and what the fun is. And it's, of course, very difficult to show on a static image on a box. But yeah, I think the Piranha slider here, you can see it. There's no kind of like environment. It's very white, clean, and Mario is prominent there, and he's collecting coins. Of course, we can't show him full color because he's not actually in the set. Yeah, but still, I think the house as well, and it's still kind of pretty to look at. We hope it works.
I was gonna say, does this theme use the new brown color that was introduced with the Mickey and Minnie set that was just revealed recently? Because I was looking at some of the browns there, like on the Fortress. Is that new brown, or is that like a nougat? Like, I'm not sure if that's the existing color.
Why don't you talk about something else? I'll just ask a colleague.
Okay. All right.
It's gotta go and check with the experts real quick.
Here's
a good question, actually, that I wanted to bring up, and when Jonathan gets back, we can have him answer it. So Brian has brought up on a lot of these streams asking people their favorite Mario game. And so, Justin, if you want, we can start with you, and you can mention that, and we can talk about those, and then when Jonathan gets back,
yeah. Okay. My Paper Mario 1000 Year Door, and Super Mario 64, and Sunshine. Those are my favorites. Yeah.
You're only see Brian's reaction. You're disqualified now.
Oh no!
We will discuss further, Justin. Don't you worry.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. I will say I might have to leave in 5 minutes, all right? But I'm going to try to pop in at the end of it because it ends at 4, right? 4-ish, because I have something from like 2:30 to 3:20, and if I make it home, I could pop in towards the end. But apologies for such a short time. You guys better have another Mario stream or something. I'm down to come back
every
on.
week is a Mario stream.
Heck yeah.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Oh, heck yeah. All right.
No, it's all good, Justin, but we'll get back to your question to Jonathan then to make sure we get the answer in before you have to head out.
Yeah, so I just asked Pablo Gonzalez, he's a model designer, and he's coming in now with the answer.
I was going to do a drum roll.
Of having Jonathan in the office.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so it's a new one from the Mickey, yeah.
Shoot, yes.
Good eye, Justin.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. Dang, now I wish I would have put that in my review because I know it's in the starter set, and I'm like, oh. Still there you go.
It is 7 o'clock here, right? 7 o'clock, so everybody's basically gone home, but
hey, that works.
Finish off a moment.
Nice.
The expert stuck around for the good stuff here in the evening.
He's listening on the YouTube channel, so he was already looking for it.
Nice.
I love it. So we started talking, Jonathan, while you were gone about your people's favorite Mario games. So Justin gave us some of his. What is your favorite Mario game for people who are looking at getting these sets and wondering what's maybe some of the game inspiration that the designers took into this?
Yeah, so my personal favorite game is Mario 64, but it's not generally like the classic Mario that people. That is, of course, the 2D side-scrolling game, and that's where we took the most inspiration from, together with Super Mario 3D World. Of course, Lego is a 3D toy, and it's about rearranging blocks, and even the modular system with the rounded off corners. That is directly inspired from 3D World, where you have this kind of more soft environment. Used for inspiration, but can't find it. So I think the core line definitely, or like the most nostalgic or retro or recognizable Mario is definitely Super Mario World. And that is what's inspired from. So the question mark, the Goomba, etc. And then we took some steps to 3D World, and I think it kind of ended there. I love that Justin on the live stream had the level-based Mario 64.
I need to recreate it because I rebuilt all the sets to review them and everything, and now I'm like, I want to rebuild that one because I love that one. So there you go.
Mario Odyssey, that take Mario to like another world. That world is not for Mario. Let's not do that because that is not what for Mario.
Yeah, I see. I'm like, man, in the future, maybe they can make a Mario Odyssey playset, but who knows? You know, New Donk City as a course for Lego Mario. I don't know. I like that. But
lots of opportunity. That is something, and I saw I think some people pointing out the incredible number of sets that are coming out in this first wave, Jonathan, which I think is really amazing. So was that a specific goal from the design team to give people like a whole lot of options when the sets first come out, so that you wouldn't be limited to just a few sets that you can play around with?
Yeah, definitely. That was the idea from the start, to have a very wide variety of price points as well. Where like I said, we to kind of make sure that Mario is affordable, the starter course, and then from there on, we know that you already have to spend that $60 to get Mario, and then you have to like buy another $100 or $150 or $50. Some people want that, and that's cool. That's why we have a set that is $100 about the castle. But then most of the assortment is actually lower price point. So the costumes, they are just $10, and you get a very nice couple of bricks. But also you get, of course, new behavior from Mario. It's kind of like skins in video games. And we have the collectible characters where we have 10 of them at just $3.99, and then we have $20 set, $30 set. We've really tried to give people make a wide spread of price pool to build an assortment. So you can build your own world around it. And again, sorry for keep saying this, but you can use your own bricks. So we really hope that kids who can only afford the starter course, they can still build massive levels. They have 7 of the most important action bricks. They're a small enemy, a big enemy, question mark block, 2 platforms, start and finish. And then you can just add your own bricks, from which you also get more coins than from other services or other objects. So I hope that answers the question. There we go.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. Demonstration.
And here, you can see some of the sets being played with here. The bullet one always knocks me off. So that was the hardest one of all the sets we had to try out. For me, definitely like actually survive that part and get coins from it was the hardest.
Yeah, that is a really tough obstacle, but it's super fun. And the fact that like even for an adult, these levels can be challenging, I think just goes to show how fun they will be for everybody to try.
That Bowser's Castle is so cool. Oh my goodness. Come on. Look at that Bowser, man. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. I have to geek out a little bit. Come on. Like, look at him. It's great.
Hey, I'm still trying to get my hands on the Mario's house. Mario's house, dude. Straight from Paper Mario.
You and me both, man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's geek out about Paper Mario, Brian. Come on.
Yeah,
what do you guys say?
You give me a date and time, either in a quarantine class or otherwise. I'll talk to you for 48 hours straight about Paper Mario, anything. I don't care. Let's make it happen.
What's your favorite obscure Mario game? How about that, Brian?
Well, you said in your review that Paper Mario is obscure. It's not obscure. That's mainstream.
I know, but Nintendo acts like it is. Paper Mario 64.
But Origami King is coming to the Switch.
I know, but like that, the sticker star and the color splash. I count the core. The first 2 are my favorite Paper Mario games.
Okay,
those I feel like they don't reference too much.
Yeah,
I feel like they ignore. They even changed up the style between them, and that's what I feel like they got distant from what I loved about Paper Mario.
Right. All right. Well, we gotta make this succinct here. We'll be here all day. Obscure
sorry,
obscure
guys.
Mario game. No, it's okay. You caught me off guard. Let's just save it for a podcast. Let's just
I'm down. I'm down. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
We'll put Brian and Justin in a stream and tell them we're streaming it live, but it's actually talking for like 20 hours. And
just going back and forth about Mario. I'm down.
And sorry, Jonathan, you have to hear us geeking out. My apologies. We're not being professional. So sorry about that. But yeah.
Oh, you invite me on the stream. This is what you get.
Dude, me too, right?
Professional is dude. Yeah, but. Jonathan, you did a fantastic job with the designs, man. Like, I just keep looking at the guarded fortress. I think that's my favorite looking one, aside from the house, of course. I love how you translated that classic castle into brick form, and it makes for just a beautiful backdrop, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't the most straightforward set, though, because I think we talked about this last week, where fortress is the first. At the end of the level, but it's not the end of the level. It's kind of funny because it's before the finish, after the finish ball, but then he goes through the tube out of the level.
Right.
So it's kind of like Mario tends to not go in it. Right? Like there is an occasion where he kind of enters it, but usually he kind of walks past it. So that's why the finish flag had to be in front of it, and it's more of a backdrop like it is in the video game. Even though, but the Lego team, the designers, they really wanted to, because it looks like a gate or a fortress, that they really wanted to have this function where you can go through, where you can go in it at least. So there's a bit of hope.
And that brown color is like perfect for it as well. It seems like it's right at a 85. Like it's spot on.
I think the whole line, just even just those. I think when we first kind of saw the question mark block here, and you just or the time block, just this one. Just I don't know. There's something with the Lego bricks that just works so well.
Yeah. Say with the I mean the POW block looks like it works too. I've been wanting to play with that one. The POW block. I'm like, oh. But there you go. Yeah. That's awesome to see in Lego form.
So cool. Oh my goodness.
There you go. Yeah.
And a nice little function I can just demonstrate. Where normally you would need to hit Bowser 10 times.
A lot of hits there. That's a big boy. Take him down.
I use the power block. I just have to turn my on and off because if you use a replay, it takes a minute to 20 seconds to reset because we don't want you to spam it. You hit him, you can only do it once in level play, and in free play you can do it like once every 20 seconds. Anyway, it's the whole thing. But then he goes, if I hit the power block.
Wow.
Nice. 2.5 seconds to instantly defeat any enemy. Just one enemy.
That's a great detail.
Creates this spread of sonic waves. I don't know what they are, but that kind of insta kills everyone.
That's such a unique way to implement that feature because the POW block, obviously, it takes care of all the enemies in the vicinity. And that's why I don't work at Lego. I would have no idea how to register that into brick form and make that a physical thing without having it be on the screen. That's such a creative way to go about it.
Yeah, creative or, to be honest, it was the last thing we implemented because we just didn't know how to do it. How to solve it. How to create the area effect. So we procrastinated quite a bit on it, and
it turned out great.
From time of the deadline.
Hey, well, guys, I gotta just to go, but it was an absolute pleasure to be on this stream.
Oh my goodness!
Thanks for stopping in, Justin. It was good to chat.
Oh, it was great chatting with you all, seeing you guys. But thank you guys for letting me on. This is not the last time I'll be.
You'll be back. We'll talk.
Yes, with talking Mario for 8 hours.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's huge thank you to Jonathan for designing this. So just everybody clap for Jonathan.
Come on, that is which I don't mind. Don't get me wrong, but the Nintendo and the Lego team just put their hearts and soul into it.
That's true.
I'll pass it all on, and I think a lot of them actually want it.
Yes, and everybody to everybody who made this. Just thank you for making a dream come true.
The hype horns will not register unless I hire my volume all the way. So I'll be
all right. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Yeah, talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Nick, I want to circle back around with your your brick build level. We mentioned this at the beginning, and John can share that again. So what did you learn talking about, Jonathan has mentioned a few different times about it, bring your own pieces into it and how people can do that. So talk about maybe what you learned with ways that you incorporated some outside pieces in with the levels and what you were able to do there.
Yeah, I think just having like a bunch of different colored plates underneath really helps create a visualization for the different biomes, as Jonathan had mentioned that they call them. And then just being able to take your own bricks and like add little details. Like I've got a mini version of, like one of Peach's castles that you would typically see on the map. I had done a little airship as well. I just pulled up pictures of some of the classic Mario games and was like, what elements can I recreate quickly with some small builds? So one of the big fish guys here with the big mouths. And then I even did like a little Lego Super Mario logo kind of thing with just a couple of the iconic colors from it. So I think people are going to really, really have an epic time, like just finding different ways to kind of bring their own, like recipe or flavor to it. And honestly, like had I had more time and really wanted to go all out with this, I would definitely I could imagine like a nice clean snot base with much more, like nicely laid out sections of the different colors and stuff. So I'm really excited to see how much potential this has. And there's just so many great pieces that have been introduced, and obviously get all the amazing characters that are really going to take people's ability to do a Super Mario mock to the next level. And I'm so pumped to be able to do that myself soon.
Sorry, I think I'm getting a lot of messages on my...
They want to know about the Super Mario stuff like we do. Very important stuff.
You're a very popular person right now, Jonathan, with all the sets being unveiled today.
Yeah, it's been super cool though. It's wow.
Did you have something you wanted to show there with the stuff you just put up there in front of your camera?
Yeah, I think the Bowser Castle is pretty cool. The boss, like the multi-stage boss battle aspect of it. That if you, of course, you have to first defeat the minions, but you don't have to. If you're role playing, of course you have to. But if you want to defeat Bowser, you actually have to defeat the stone guy, really.
There you go.
Here we go. So this is the main. Of course, the music is there. But now, if I start kind of the main function to beat him, nothing happens. We actually have to unlock kind of a mechanism behind it, where if the arms go up, I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
A little bridge get lifted, and because the bridge get lifts, he can slide forward. So you actually have to physically defeat the arms first. All right. This is tricky, and remember, you're on a level timer, right? So it can be. There we go. Now Bowser's kind of lifted up, and if I now kind of move him forward, then he kind of slowly sliding forward, as you can see, until I think I built him the wrong way.
Oh, the shell's in the wrong spot.
And then he kind of slowly goes forward until he's on the bridge, where he starts dancing, and we really love this bit. Where he's just kind of dancing about until he falls in the fire, and then he can kind of hit his shield. So the designer on this amazing set, he's worked really hard to make sure that the multi-staged aspect of Mario games with the boss battles, you just can't go out and boss and defeat him directly, within this set.
So you have to incorporate, kind of multiple elements to how you're going to go about defeating Bowser.
Yes. This kid makes it look easy.
I was going to say, he did it in one shot. Come on now.
I was at the studio, he didn't. it's a good cut.
Yeah, right.
But that's, when you're live like this, you show how it really is. The authentic experience with Jonathan showing it off.
Kids can also be quite good at it.
So I know, Jonathan, you've been with us for about an hour now, and I know it's getting late over there, so I don't want to hold you too much longer. Brian or Nick, did you guys have any more questions for Jonathan before he has to head out?
I'll let the champion go first if he has any questions, as the meager second place.
Oh my gosh, get out of here! I feel like I got a lot of my questions through to Jonathan, and the 2 times I've had the pleasure of talking to him before, so I'm all good at the moment.
Maybe we have some fans who have questions.
Yeah, I'll look through the chat, Brian. If you have anything else, then I'll check the chat and see if there's any other questions we have there.
Sure. So, which of the expression of the Goomba is your favorite? Because I see a couple different expressions here.
Yeah. I can kind of put the different ones here.
Yep. So there's those 2.
Oh, I didn't even notice the different expressions. There you go.
Yeah, that's because I have a keen eye for these details.
I noticed at least 3, but I think I'm seeing a 4th one in front of me.
Ooh.
Like the open mouth one, I don't have that physically. I'm guessing
that's a flying Goomba, as you said in your review. It's a Paragoomba.
Whatever.
And there's the one more that's looking down that I used in the triple Goomba stack. Yeah, there he is.
There you go.
Nice.
Definitely the most crazy looking one. So it's got to be this one. Right?
There you go.
Yes, so many different expressions. It's awesome. It's so good.
They're so funny.
Yeah. And real quick too, the feet that were on each of the different enemies. So that is a new piece, right? Just so I know.
You guys.
That's awesome.
It'll be fun to see what kind of characters people bring up with those.
Right.
We did try to make it out of the bricks that we have in the system, but I think we just didn't get that expression through of those nice floppy feet that they have in the game, where they kind of look so funny, wiggling about. And it's used on a lot of the. We have the Bomb here, which is probably my favorite small enemy, which I can just demonstrate. So it's actually quite tricky, this one, to get a lot of coins from, because he has a fuse that goes off, and now I get coins. But if I hit it while the bomb explodes, no coins. Now he's just a normal enemy, so I have to wait 20 seconds again to kind of prevent spamming or just quickly turn him on and off.
Gotcha.
So you want to just time it so that you don't hit and now nothing happens.
It's a risky play, but it plays off well if you execute it well.
And then we have on the Bowser Jr., we have the we have the same or similar element, but it's like 3 wide instead of 2.
It's great.
So yeah, we did make a lot of new elements for this line to find the balance between brick build and matching the IP.
And here's a question from chat. Golden Light Pictures. Do you get more points if you step on the same enemy? So if you do it over and over again, will that help your score?
Yeah. So again, this has been a tricky one for us to solve. Tricky. We've put a lot of thought into it. Because there's a lot of solutions here. On one hand, you don't maybe want to encourage like spamming. You can just go to the start. Hit the Goomba 250 times, and then you get, and that's how you get the best level score. But then again, we also, if you think that's fun, who are we to score? So it's been a little bit of a balance that we found. So what happens now is that if I hit a Goomba once, I get 1 coin. If I hit him twice, 2 coins, 3 times, I get 3 coins. But now if I hit him 10 times, still get 3 coins. So there is a kind of a limit that's built in to make sure you don't get too many coins from it. I think as a rule, we kind of have one thing gives you about 100 coins or 80 coins a minute. That's kind of fine. But then if you want to get more coins, you should have more variety in the way you play and try the different, go from an enemy to a friend, to a color, to a platform, and then kind of work with that variety rather than doing one thing at a time. But it's been a balance, because if you just find it's fun to do it, then we don't want to stop you either.
Right.
Thanks.
And I also wanted to ask you about past Lego themes that you worked on during your time at Lego. What kind of themes have you worked on, and how has that kind of affected then the work that you did on Mario in terms of what you've learned over the years there?
Cool. Yeah, and don't worry about time, by the way. I'm having a lot of fun. So.
Oh, great. Awesome. Okay, we'll keep going then.
My girlfriend is in Holland, so we are separated due to the COVID-19, so I don't have to go home for her either.
All right, so 48 hours of Mario action. We're going to speed run Mario 64 and Odyssey all at once. All right, here we go.
Hello, Nanda. I just want to give her a shout. Now I've got the question.
So what Lego themes have you worked on in the past during your time at Lego, and how did that kind of affect the experience that you brought into Mario?
So when I came to Lego, it was 6 years ago. I already had like my own kind of idea of what I wanted to do with Lego. And that was to build. I had like this idea of these 16 by 16 plates that you could put together, and they had RFID in them, and then you could kind of play like video games with Lego bricks in a way. When I kind of presented that 6 years ago, to some of the folks here that I got to know through LinkedIn, and it had a lot of similarities with Lego Dimensions. So they hired me as a freelancer for 5 months, and then afterwards I got hired. So my first project at Lego was Lego Dimensions, and I worked on that for about 2 years. And then the project got it was end of life, so we didn't go on with it any further. And that was a bit of a tough time, to be honest. I loved working with Warner Brothers. I loved bringing those video games to life. I think what I thought that could be better is that with Lego Dimensions you would build a little token or tag, and then you would put it on a portal, and then the main game was in the screen. So you were playing a console game, and of course you were swapping around characters here and there, and that was pretty cool. And there was like some cool puzzles you can do with it. But the bricks themselves, they didn't matter too much in the game. They were very pretty, and they were very cool collector's items. The Marty McFly and the A-Team and all of those fabulous IPs that we got to work with was really cool. Doctor Who, Scooby-Doo, etc. And that they were display models when you're not using the game, and when you're playing the game, you were playing the game and not necessarily with the bricks. So that's something that we definitely wanted to do different with Lego Super Mario, where you want to make sure that the core play loop, as we call it, so that has nothing to do with kind of like the meta game, the things around it, but just the core interaction, the 1 minute of intensity that is with the bricks. Of course, Lego Dimensions was Toys to Life, and we call this internally Life to Toys. It's quite fitting because we've put life into a brick that's now Lego Mario, and we're very proud that the whole play loop is with the bricks. And you are having both hands-free playing with Mario, and it doesn't it stimulates creativity, and it stimulates roleplay as well. It makes roleplay more interactive. You still have to, it's not a prescribed recipe that we're making for you. You don't have to solve a puzzle in a certain way, which is again something we tried during development, where we would tell you to go to certain colors to do a good job, and we would check that. But it wasn't fun. I think this is kind of, for me at least, a combination of like 7 years of working to bring game mechanics to Lego play in a way that is true to the product And I always use the, sorry if I go on, but I always kind of, my personal kind of acid test is if you would make it out of one injection molded piece, would you still be able to play that game? And my original idea that I had when I came to Lego, you could, you didn't need to have bricks that you move around, or you move stuff around. But there was no creativity in it itself. You would just kind of go from tile to tile. And that means that a company like Playmobil or Spin Masters could do it. And, nothing bad about those companies. But we have a system, at Lego, and a creativity system. So I always think, if those companies could do the same play, then maybe it's not Lego, because, we want to stay true to that creativity and to the system that we have. And that's why I'm so proud that with Lego Mario, there's no way you can do this with, with one big injection molded castle, because, if you have the Bowser castle and you can take these parts apart and you can take half the thing apart and still, play the functions. So I think that's the biggest learning, definitely.
And I really appreciated with Mario, even if you don't use Mario with any of the play sets, it's still inherently fun just taking Mario wherever, because the color still registers. So if you have a blue surface, he's still on water. And then I could totally imagine kids out there just taking Mario and just hop around the entire wall of your bedroom or whatever, just having genuine fun with that. And comparing that to a regular Lego minifigure, it's like it's night and day. There's so much more life in Mario because of those sounds, not even when you're playing a level, just what's already built into that. So that's what I was explaining to a lot of my friends earlier today when they were asking me 1,000 questions about it. That was what stuck out, other than the sets themselves, was the liveliness that Mario has, especially when you combine all those other outfits that are right out of the game as well. So great job on that too.
Yeah, I think I would throw out there, I think a lot of us have maybe imagined what a digital Lego minifigure would look like.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously technology is not at the point just yet where you can squeeze all that tech into a tiny little minifigure. But to have something so amazing like this, and to kind of have gone further with it, I think the screen, I would have never thought of putting a screen in a Lego minifigure and that having so much value and adding so much life to a character. And honestly, I just feel like people just, until you get him in your hands, you have such a hard time appreciating how much fun it is to just play around with him. Like Brian said, even just booping around with him on the desk, he's making noise, he's bouncing, he does the wahoo. There's so many little details that they've put into him that I think just make him super duper fantastic. And it's something you would have never imagined, but here we are with, basically a giant digital Lego minifigure, which is incredible.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for all your very nice words, and for being such great ambassadors of, spreading the word about what this is, because it's very different. It's not something that you might get from a 1-minute video, or you have to you have to put in a little bit of effort yourself, but then you also get rewarded with one of the best things in life are like that.
There's another question from chat here. What is the best power up for Lego Mario? So, Jonathan, in your opinion, as you're playing through a level, is there kind of one thing that helps you out the most to get through successfully?
Let's see. Well, I think that has to be star power. That is in the game. Is it the best power up? It's this epic moment where you feel you are invincible. And we've replicated that here as well. It is getting late. So you can't get hurt by fire, falling off platforms. You can instantly defeat all the enemies and get double coins from it. So that is the most powerful power-up. My personal favorite, though, is the P-switch, which is this little block here, which you can, I think, only find in the $20 or $19.99, I am supposed to say, Womp Dungeon Trouble.
Yeah.
And it's underneath the Womp, so you have to kind of defeat him, and then it will be between his feet there. But this puts Mario in this coin shower mode, which is really fun in the games where you have the P-switch, blocks switch to coins, and you're double happy because first of all, you don't have to get rid of those blocks anymore, and you get coins from it. So the P-switch is the same. for instance, now you basically have to just run and jump and move like a crazy person as you would do in the game. You get tons of coins. So that is my personal favorite.
You get to start flipping him all over the place. Yeah, that's when you can start having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. You just it feels so rewarding by moving him about and getting those coins. And it's only, it's 10 seconds. And you can do it once in level play. So again, we don't want to overpower certain things, but we do want to give that feeling of richness, like, woohoo, I'm getting so much.
And I have a question that I think you addressed on the call we did with you before, but I've seen it popping up in the chat here a lot, and I've just out there in general as well, and that's regarding the instructions and deciding to do those digital versus physical in the sets. And I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity here to address that for people who are watching and maybe wondering about that decision.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joshua, for giving me that opportunity and the platform that to explain this. We have tried with, of course, that's where you start with the physical building instructions. But a lot of the fun of this product is again, it's from display to play. It's about interacting with Mario. It's about running with him, jumping. The P block that I just did, you have to do flips and you have to do things in order to get something out of it. And if you, of course, there's a couple of hidden features in there, but if you don't know what you're missing, you're not gonna try and find it. So, and what I mean by that is that if you hit the P block and nothing happens, you're like, okay, what is this? It's just different music. But you only get the feeling of fun and enjoyment when you are flipping. So in order to convey that on normal building instructions with arrows and just on stills basically, because you can't use video, that has proven to be absolutely impossible. I think we are the last generation that understands arrows. Like everything that is not a precise instruction of put this brick on this brick, they skip. They just gloss over it because it's optional content or whatever. So it's just proven to be impossible to onboard people to what this is, and not just kids. I think all of us. If you don't know what you need to do, understanding is the number one requirement for fun. If you don't have an idea what you're doing, you're not going to enjoy it. So that's why we had to put videos in there. And because we have videos that you would need to do, we also needed to be the building instructions to be digital. But I'm very happy we did. We found from other projects, and again in this project again, that kids really, really love the digital building instructions. You can rotate around the model in full 3D. Sometimes when you build a bigger model, you don't really know where the pictures go. With this, you can. Kids' medium is tablets and mobile phones, so they use that all the time. And I think my politically correct answer would be better for the environment, but the reason definitely is the onboarding.
And it really is a seamless building process. When you've got the instructions on the phone and you're going through it, and then you get those instructional videos. So the whole thing just feels like it fits together really well. And even though, it is very different from opening up a set and having that physical instruction booklet, it still feels like a really great process, at least from my perspective. I don't know, Nick and Brian, what you guys thought.
Yeah, sorry. Love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. It felt really good. Admittedly, at first I was a little confused getting to the first set. But then once I figured that out, everything just smoothed out from there, and finding all the remaining sets were really, really easy. So no, it all came together really nicely. And being able to rotate and zoom and stuff and slide back and through the instructions really, really quickly and easily definitely makes it, just a super duper smooth building experience. And I think people will appreciate having so much more flexibility in how they view the instructions. So yeah, I think people are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Having that 3D model be there in the instructions. So if you're confused at all, because Lego instructions are pretty, basic to follow anyways. But if somebody has some issue, you can turn the entire model and just see every single little step. So there's no confusion at all. And, you know, there's better consistency because sometimes maybe in the instructions, the colors might not be 1-to-1 or something like that. So there's a lot more consistency with that. You could preview the other sets that are a part of the line and actually look at the instructions for those if you really wanted to. So you get a lot of functionality within that app. And then I made an emphasis on that in my review because, yeah, a lot of people want the physical instructions. It is better for the environment, but then you're doing everything else in the app anyways. So it just makes sense from that regard. I didn't mind it at all once I figured it out. And I have a relatively small phone screen and it was totally fine. So if you have an iPad or a big Android tablet or a big phone in general, then yeah. You're going to be totally, you know, immersed in all of it. And it works. So if anybody has any apprehension about that in the chat, I mean, I didn't have any issue. Most people have cell phones anyways. They have tablets. So that's just, you know, how it is seemingly. So it worked for me at least.
I would say my only concern with it was the battery drain on the phone. I felt like as I had the instructions open using the Mario with the phone playing through the levels, I noticed the battery seemed to drain pretty quickly. So I kept my phone plugged in the whole time. So that would be my only suggestion for people if you're trying it out. Just make sure if you can keep your phone plugged in, if you're going to be using it for kind of an extended period of time, like sitting down and, you know, build, like I built a lot of these sets all at the same time. So had it going for a while.
Yeah. So what, and it also depends on what type of phone you have. If you have an older phone, it's probably still going to be compatible, but yeah, your battery life is not going to be great if it's older and then all that. But yeah, I just always had it plugged in because it was on for like on the main screen for, you know, an hour and a half at a time. So yeah.
And obviously, I'll just throw out there, this is still an early version, so who knows?
Sure, of course.
They'll continue to make as, you know, the release actually comes around. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of great refinements and stuff to come too.
No, that's a good point, Nick. And here you can see where screen sharing Brian's full review video, which we have on Beyond the Break. You can check that out. And then also, Nick, I believe, did you do 3 separate videos?
I did. Yeah, I've got 3 videos up covering a bunch of different things. So if you guys want to check those out, feel free to.
There you go. Yeah. So lots of great Mario content out there that as everybody's been, you know, trying everything out. Brian, you know, for people who've watched these streams every week, you've heard Brian's thoughts as they first announced the sets and the whole process so far, but now he's actually had hands on. So you can watch that video and see what he actually thinks of everything so far. And I think we'll have even more coming from you soon with that, Brian. Oh, yes. Either in this stream as well as more content. I'm going to do anything and everything the Hanlon brothers will let me do. So I'm looking forward to it. That will be fantastic. Jonathan, do you try to watch fan content like that at all? Like, do you take time at all to see kind of how people respond to products very much?
So I personally, I love JK Brickworks a lot. He just has these fantastic little intricate builds. I have the little planetary system that he made with the sun and the earth and the moon. So I built that myself. So I kind of tend to watch or look at his content, yeah, I think I've seen a few episodes from Nick, which is a lot of fun, and just2good, of course. But I think it's definitely more in that my team is doing that a lot, so I don't have too much time myself to keep up with all of the fan content. To be fair, so that's the honest. It's okay. I don't watch any of my own videos either. I just make it and hope for the best. So, so somebody will watch it. Hopefully one day. Yeah, Brian. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. No, that's understandable, Jonathan. Yeah, there's a lot of content out there, so that makes sense. And JK Brickworks, shout out, awesome builders over there. Definitely for anyone who has not checked out that channel. I feel like every video they post just gets spread so widely that everyone in the Lego community has probably seen their stuff by now, but it's always incredible stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I just want to show you guys one last thing in the app, which is for sure, yeah. A personal thing that I really love is that if you unlock a certain set, then your inspiration section also changes. And I've unlocked the Bowser Castle. So I get blueprints that are built with Bowser Castle elements, and I just want to show you some of them because the designer of the Bowser Castle also made these, and this kind of shows that even like that big display model can be, totally broken up, and you can just build like really kind of crazy levels with it. Like a really wide one, so you can. That's just a personal little favorite thing that I love about the this one.
Yeah, so many different designs, and so those become available. Then once you've like bought the set and you've registered that you have the set in the app, is when those become available. Then.
Yeah, they're only starter course plus the set that you've unlocked. So of course we thought about what if you have the castle and the Toad's Village and the starter course and the house, and then we make blueprints for those, but that becomes just a complexity that is insane, as you can imagine. And I think these inspiration levels are just there to give you new ideas for using the modules. But we totally have confidence in our fans that they can put the Bowser Castle and the Toad's Village and the house and the starter course together, themselves. And we've seen that with the Lego Mario championships. But yeah, so if you unlock those, you get new ideas for those sets, and you can just hit the refresh button on the right to get more ideas. And of course, through Lego Live, you can share your levels, so you have a chance that your level actually gets featured in the inspiration section. So endless inspiration should be.
Yeah, the app, and I think the app will also have like weekly challenges too, right? So there'll be like kind of stuff that people can try out in there to keep kind of giving inspiration.
Yeah, so every week we unlock a new on the Friday night, I think it is, Central European time. There is a new challenge that is teaching you something about the game mechanics. For instance, we have like different categories. There is about using a bit of furniture in your house. There's just build in a certain way, or maybe just use one hand, or just kind of different fun challenges. The ones that are about the game modes are, for instance, the finish bonuses. There's a couple of different finish bonuses that you already know. One that is if you almost run out of time and you hit just at 58 or 59 seconds, you get a finish bonus. But there's a couple of them, and those challenges give hints to finding those. So and then you can take a picture of your level and your coin score, and then submit it to that challenge. And then if you click the challenge, you can see how other people have solved it, or how other people have built levels by using that challenge.
Brian, we need like your weekly challenge pro tips. So every week when it's like, here's how.
Any content you want. Yep, I'm ready for it. Anything.
I think me and Ryan today should maybe attempt whatever the weekly challenge in the app is and see who can do better.
I don't know if we need to do that. We'll
see. Are you that scared because I beat you once, Brian?
Are there any other questions for John before he has to head out for the evening? I know it's late in Denmark. We don't want to keep you any longer, John. Is there anything else?
Brian's just really been taking down a lot of notches since the tournament, so it's going to take him a little while to recover.
I don't know what he's scared of. He smoked me on the actual coin collecting. So there's no creative multiplier here, Brian.
That's true. That's true.
I did see, Jonathan, a number of people have asked in the chat about the various extra suits, like the Catsuit and the other ones. So I don't know if you maybe want to run through a quick demonstration of those just to show how those operate and kind of how they changed up what you can do with Mario.
Yes, so start with my favorite, the cat costume. Gives you a little cat bell. And Mario now makes cat sounds. And the idea is that he kind of climbs up walls. And he makes cat sounds by doing so, but he also gets coins while walking up walls. So we hope that this inspires people to kind of build really tall levels instead of just flat ones. So that is the cat Powerup pack. Then we have the Fire Mario one, which of course had the Fire Flower from the game. And this actually allows you to shoot fireballs at enemies, and you also get double coins from them. So I'll just take, let's see.
Find the right example here.
Here we go. So normally he takes 5 hits, but now I can kind of shoot fireballs by doing like that, and then Mario remembers the next enemy that he hits. He takes those health points off, and you get double coins from it.
Oh.
We have the builder costume. And this gives you the hammer. And this is all about smashing up the level. So it's about... I want to do it on my laptop. But the idea is that for each jump and hit you on a Lego color, you get coins. And this is about kind of smashing up your level and then rebuilding it.
I love that. That's great for the kids who just want to pound some Lego down, you know.
And then we have the propeller suit that Mario can take to the sky. And you get the little helicopter sound. And you get coins by moving around and just being kind of active, running around, doing crazy stuff. And then landing again. There we go. And he flies for 5 seconds and you have to kind of take off again. So this will hopefully inspire people to build levels like kind of throughout their living room or throughout their house.
That goes back to what Brian was saying earlier, yeah, about like kids, you could take it and run around all over the place with it, and expand much more beyond just kind of a table layout.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's all about those, it's all about kind of inspiring new ways of building. I think that is that's what the costumes do, but I think it kind of goes for all of our assortment and. Also, the companion app, it's not about unlocking things or the amount of coins. It's about giving you new ideas or a new challenge or a new way to put bricks together. I mean, that's kind of a governing principle.
I've also seen a few questions in the chat here about how scores are saved. So I wanted to make sure you could address that for people. So are those scores saved in the Mario itself, or is that all in the app? And can you save a bunch of different levels? How does that work?
Yeah, so I'll just show you. Maybe do you guys have the app there or not?
I do not have it pulled up, but I can quickly note that anytime you finish a level, you can always put him back onto the flag and he'll show you what your most recent score was. So that's always a great, quick way to be able to reference it.
So, because I just did a fresh install, I only have 20 coins in total. That's not a lot. But the idea is that, the last level that you play, if you go to the finish, you can always see your latest score. And then in the app, it's actually not too bad. If you go into the app, into the Mario menu, which is on the top, it's kind of here, the little Mario icon. And if you click that, it goes you to your menu, and here you can see kind of your total amount of scores, your battery percentage. So this is the total amount of coins that you've ever earned when you're connected to the app. So this will give you a kind of point score, and it's in there for a reason behind the setting, behind a button you have to push, because we didn't want to make that too big of a deal. Put it on like the main app on the front screen, and it would all be about collecting coins and bragging, and it's not necessarily a number that changes a lot throughout the year. Of course, it gets more and more, but I can't go out bragging to another kid that I have 20,000 if he has 200,000, and the next week he has 252,000 and I have 22,000. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to. But we did want to kind of, for the real hardcore players who do want to keep track of how much coins they've ever earned, it is in the app, but you have to push the menu button.
So I was just looking at that on mine. Yeah, so I have 2,766 total. So I don't know if you can see that easily, but yeah. So it saved all of the coins I've ever gotten in trying out the levels.
Yep. Yeah, and he's also, remember it if you're not connected, and then when you connect, it kind of uploads it into the app, but it's doing it kind of in the background. And another cute thing about the Mario menu is, as you can see, I now have the propeller costume, and then he has the little propeller icon. So that changes with each costume that you wear.
Right, so it reads it based on the costume as well. The other thing I like is, so I've got 3 different levels saved here in the section that you can run through a level and then hit save in the app, and it will save that. So like for me, the best score I've ever been able to get is 128. So I have that saved here, and then I believe if I click on it, so it runs through then and breaks down exactly how I got all those coins, which is useful. So you can go back and see, okay, what is it that's actually giving me the most coins, and how can I improve here?
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea with it, to give you a little bit more information when you're connected to the app to be able to increase your coin scores, if that's kind of your thing.
Yeah, there will be some people who are just like all about the coins. Other people, Brian who's going in on the story, Nick at bringing in pieces and just creating their own level with their own pieces. So, very versatile. Lots of different directions you can go in here.
Cool. Okay, I think I'm about to head off to home. It's almost 8:40. So if there's any more questions burning questions that I need to answer, I'd love to do that now.
Awesome. Well, if anybody has any last second questions for Jonathan, you can put them in chat, but I've been keeping an eye, and I think we've covered most everything. So unless Brian or Nick have thought of anything else, it's been great to have you, Jonathan. I really appreciate you spending so much time with us, showing off all the products. There's so many, like the faces on the Goombas, just so many little things like that, whatever it is to discover here. So it's so much fun just to dive into these.
I mean, the pleasure's been all mine. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to explain a little bit more. There's a lot of stuff new with this line that we do in different things than maybe in the past, and that always is a little bit getting used to it. Let's put it like that. But I think I hope that you can all see that it's come from a good place, and from a place where we try to stimulate creativity and in a fun, interactive way, while staying true to the core DNA of Lego. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak to you and to talk to all your viewers, and to give a little bit more explanation of some of the choices that we've made. That may seem a little bit strange at first, but there's actually been some thought going into it. Thanks, and have a very awesome rest of the session.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good night, Jonathan.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. And then there were 3. All right. So I am so happy and elated and just like cloud nine. Not a lot of sleep last night. So excited being able to talk to everybody about these sets. And I know I'm the Mario fan between the 3 of us, really, at the end of the day.
I won't argue.
But I'm just so glad that we managed to get Jonathan on and Justin and everybody else. It feels like everybody is celebrating what this is. That's what I wanted, and I'm glad that people are open to the idea and are gonna hopefully get their hands on it and see something special about it. So, and that's not even my bias talking. It's just a cool concept. So anybody out there who has any apprehension, just at least give it a shot in person, see what's going on. It's definitely unique, and there's a lot to look forward to. So.
And I should give a shout out, to everyone who helped set up, us getting these sets, as well as like the championship and everything. Like the AFOL engagement team at Lego. We had Alyssa on a few weeks ago. She's helped set up some of these types of things. Sarah, who was really involved with this. So we definitely appreciate everyone on the Lego end who works with people like us and Nick and Brian and everybody who did all this stuff. So it's really great when we can get involved in this stuff, and definitely appreciate these opportunities that Lego gives us to try this stuff out early and then bring all of you, early content with it as well.
Yeah, this is a childhood dream that I've had it's like since I was, back in 2002. I'm like, when's this happening? And obviously happens at the right time, and now it's a unique concept that Lego and Nintendo coming together on. So I'm looking forward to it. What are you shaking your head for, Nick?
Someone was asking in the chat if there was a UCS BB-8 in the background. There is not.
Oh, okay. That is the brick sketches, actually.
Yes, those are the brick sketches, which are coming out in July, I believe. If I
there you go.
correctly. Yeah.
From the one and only Chris McVeigh.
There you go. Beautiful lineup.
Yeah. So I don't know what else you guys had in mind for the rest of this. I would love to just talk about the other sets that we haven't got our hands on yet and just kind of go on and on about it, if you don't mind. Unless you have something different in mind. I know Nick is a very busy man, so I want to make sure that, we're not taking too much of his time.
I may potentially dip out for a little bit just to grab lunch and then rejoin, but
what a quitter. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
That's understandable. I did like the comment somebody said earlier about we need a rematch between Brian and Nick. So people, I don't know if we specifically mentioned it, but on the call, so Nick took first place, Brian was second, and I was third. So you've got a lot of high-level competitors here in the call now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that was Alyssa in the chat saying Nick versus Brian rematch when I can't confirm or deny any accusations from any chatters. So let's just reel it back in here.
What a chicken. What a chicken.
Yeah. So when are you grabbing lunch, Nick?
Are you trying to get rid of me?
No, I don't want to go into like the whole spiel about everything, and then you're like, all right, gone. I want to.
All right. I mean, I can go now.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
Lego Super Mario is updating at the same time, so I feel like it'll be good that he's updating while I grab some food. And then do I just click back on the link from earlier, and then I'm good?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just click back on.
Perfect. All right. I'm gonna go grab some food, guys. Thanks so much again, and we'll see you in a bit.
Perfect. Cool. We'll launch
right.
back in then with all those sets when Nick gets back.
Sure. Yeah. So I would like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you. Yeah. So what? Describe a little bit for the viewers and me, like what this experience has been like so far for you, Brian. Because I love it so much, knowing how hyped you've been since like week 1 of Quarantine Cast. It was like I think our first episode was like 2 hours of you talking about how much you wanted to get the Mario sets and how much you were looking forward to them. And then ever since then, it's been coming up. We've diverged into Animal Crossing occasionally, but mostly it's been Mario.
Yes. So I've said, I would like to get my hands on the Mario sets early. And that doesn't come from a place of like, I deserve this or I want like an entitlement thing. It's from a place of wanting to experience it as soon as I possibly can. Right. And I know that, Beyond the Brick is very close with Lego and there's a good relationship there and whatnot. And like, I'm a believer in like, you put into the universe a thing, you say it into existence. And clearly, my enthusiasm for it and the way that I can deliver the information with Beyond the Brick as a platform too, like that, it just worked really well. And I'm glad that, like there's so many people to thank, like obviously you two, the Hanlon brothers, the dynamic duo, for allowing me to be on the channel and like get access to the opportunity to do this, because it literally has been a childhood dream of mine. And like, it sounds so weird as like I'm a man. I'm an adult. I pay taxes. Like it's weird for like, all right, I don't want to get emotional over a toy. It's plastic. It's whatever. But like, when I've enjoyed Lego since I was a kid and enjoyed Mario since I was a kid and everything that led up to this moment and blah, blah, blah. And when we're with the big grand picture, I'm like, so I'm like, all right, let me dial it back here. So it's been an incredibly amazing experience. And like, just to even hold this and know that Lego and you guys trust me to not say anything and ruin it, like signing the dotted line, like, don't say anything dumb. I'm like, all right, cool. Keep it under wraps and whatever. And I wanted to tell my audience so bad.
I figured. I was thinking, man, it's got to be so hard on all of your Twitch streams and everything to not say anything to anyone.
So what? I was like, yeah, I'm expecting a package from Lego for this thing that I did in March, the minifigure madness thing. And then I opened the first package on stream thinking it's that. And then it was the Minion stuff for me to review. And I'm like, wow, this is one I was expecting. All right. And then I saw the big package come in and I'm like, oh, this must be the minifigure stuff because that was supposed to be in like March. I was supposed to get it like whatever. And I opened it and I recorded my reaction just in case whatever it was. And I have that posted on my channel, my initial reaction of opening the Mario sets. And it literally, as people described it in the comments, kid on Christmas Day, like it is entirely that reaction. And it's totally like genuine. Like the excitement that I have for all of this and how much I want to endorse it. Like, obviously, people feel how they want to feel about the form factor. And, it's not minifigure scale sets. It's not a UCS Peach's Castle, Luigi's Mansion, Sunshine, Odyssey, blah, 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 blah. You can feel however you want to feel about it. This is just the beginning of what I assume to be a long partnership between Nintendo and Lego. Leading up to this, the definitive go-to answer of like, what is the one property that Lego could collaborate with to make a really interesting product? What makes the most sense? And it's Nintendo, like unequivocally. Like, you have Marvel, DC, Star Wars, obviously great, but what was next in line? It was Nintendo. It's Mario. It just makes sense. Bread and butter, peanut butter jelly. It is there. So obviously, Nintendo being so crazy with their ideas when it comes to video games, there's going to be something different in regard to the Lego product too. So, who knows what the future has? And, as much as people like to say online, I want this, I want that, blah, 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 blah. Like, people, like, there's people listening. There's people who see these comments, whether they do anything with them or not, it's whatever. But there's clearly people who know what people want. And I don't know anything at all. No one's told me anything. I don't know any secret info, nothing. Otherwise, I'd tell you, unless I signed a contract in which I can't. But I would tell you. So I've had such a blast with this, and that's the fanboy in me. And yeah, I'm so grateful and honored and etc. for this opportunity. Like, yeah, it's incredible. So thank you to you two, to Lego, to everyone who helped make this possible. And, if you want me to keep endorsing this stuff, great. You're going to get almost nothing but positive reviews from me, unless it's objectively bad, which it's probably not, because it's Lego Super Mario, two great companies coming together for a great product. So yeah, that's my long-winded commencement. I thank the Academy. Appreciate it. It's great. It's great. And I would be happy to answer any questions from somebody who isn't a Lego designer, who isn't somebody who has a stake in this necessarily, ask some of the tougher questions, or questions of like what could potentially come out, because, I've seen comments in the stream right now, like, hey, what about this? What about that? A lot of the people at Lego can't answer these questions. There's years of development that go into these sets. And as I said in the review, if you look at the copyright date at the bottom of Mario, it says 2018. This is a couple years old. So who knows what's being made right now to release a year from now, 2 years from now. So you just got to be patient, ladies and gentlemen. Give it some time to ferment, like a fine wine. Give it some time, It's going to be great. I know it. I got a feeling. And I'm rarely wrong. Rarely does the gut feeling. Am I wrong? I feel it. All right.
I love it. No, I love the passion you bring. So, John and I have been super happy to have you on board for all of this. I think we started doing the quarantine cast streams at the perfect time as Mario was announced, and now we're getting the sets. So it's been a great journey here so far. So a question I thought of while you were talking there, would you say that these Mario sets have more appeal to the person who's like a Nintendo fan but isn't a big Lego fan, or the Lego fan who isn't necessarily a big Nintendo Mario fan? And is there one group that maybe will be drawn in more than the other there?
I think you would see a lot of casual fair weather appeal if you brought this to a PAX East or a hands-on Nintendo event, which hands-on events, who knows when, right?
Right.
But you really can't get the gist and the fun of Mario unless you experience it for yourself. There's only so much, we can all communicate that through video. It's just genuinely fun. So I think you would see a lot of people from the Nintendo realm who are curious about maybe, buying just a couple of the $5 packs that are like, all right, I want a Lego Goomba on my desk. And then, they never bother with the app and Mario and whatever. But just to mess around with Mario and see what that's all about. I think there's that technological aspect from the Nintendo fan and gaming fan end. And obviously that competitive aspect of the coins and optimizing your level. Like, that mindset I got from one of my favorite content creators, Abdallah Smash, who like goes into a level, goes into a game, and he's like, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to put that hat on and just dissect this level and optimize it and just go for it. So that I think is appealing to the gaming fan. And for the Lego fan, like I said in the review, which not for nothing, I think is a great review. I put everything into that, and that's the magnum opus of my Lego review. So please check that out.
People should go check it out for sure. You go into more detail there, and so there's maybe some things that we haven't hit on in the stream here. So if you want, Brian's kind of complete thoughts all at once, then definitely check that out. And also, I should mention right now, sorry to interrupt, Brian.
No, you're good.
If anyone has any suggestions for other types of content you'd like to see Brian make with these sets, if you're looking at the characters or any of the pieces or anything like that, and you're like, this is something I'd be interested in seeing more about, since these still aren't available for another month and a half for the public to get, we're more than happy to take your suggestions in chat here, or leave a comment somewhere, shoot us an email, whatever, because you've seen how much Brian loves it. We'd love to have him doing as much content as possible with all of the Mario products that we have. So if you've got any thoughts or suggestions on other types of content that you'd like to see with these, definitely let us know.
Yeah, and I'll wrap up my thought here before I get to your question, CMC. But for anyone who is a fan of Lego, I think just checking out the technology and being impressed by what Mario can do in such a small, when I first saw this in the trailer, I'm like, oh, it's a pretty chunky Mario. He's a pretty big size. Those are kids' hands. Kids have small hands, so he looks a lot bigger. So he's more in proportion to a Lego minifigure. Like if I compare these two here, so you can kind of see the comparison there. It's about a minifigure and a half tall-ish, just about 2 with the hat. So it's not too out of scale. Obviously, it's he's a chunkier figure, of course, but just to see what's going on here, there's a lot going on with just him. And articulating that in the review and getting that succinctly between Mario, the app, and the sets was very difficult for me to do without making it, too long or too boring or whatever. So, this is a whole screen behind the plastic here. That's an LCD screen. There aren't many toys that have the quality of Lego and the intellectual property of Nintendo that goes into this. So, just to check this out and see what it's like, in my opinion, bias aside, is worth the $60 just to see what it is. And you get Bowser Jr., you get the Goomba, and you get more pieces to build your level. So there's definitely two aspects from the Nintendo and Lego fan. There's something for both, and it's going to take a hands-on either at the Lego store or a convention, if that's a thing, something like that, to really show people hey, this is just a genuinely fun toy and piece of tech. So,
and I thought Jonathan made a great point earlier when we had him on about that starter kit giving you kind of all the essentials.
Yep,
You've got a lot of those main characters. I think he pointed out the fact there's a larger enemy, a smaller enemy, the various things you get there, and then from there you can run with it with your own parts collection, because you can always use your own parts to make a bigger course and whatever. So really that starter kit is going to give you a lot of the essentials, assuming you already have a decent sized Lego collection to begin with, that you could build your own level and go from there. And that way, you don't feel like you're totally forced to go out and buy all, what is it, 20 sets or something coming out?
Yeah.
Like however many. So you don't have to go out and get every single one.
Yeah, and you can jump around with the green pieces because that's the grassland. You have the water levels. And even if you don't have blue Lego bricks, I have this playmat here that has all Pokemon on it. There's red and yellow and blue, and Mario just waddles along and it registers all the colors just fine. So you get a lot out of it. So that's why I think it's worth it just to check out. It's just a matter of getting more of the older fans to get into that mindset, because I feel like so many adult fans are like, I want a big set, no digital instructions, no play. That's not what this is. It's not this. That is not the philosophy behind it from the Lego end or the Nintendo end. This is a play interactive thing. Just check it out. And then if you don't like it, give it to a kid for Christmas or whatever. It's worth checking out just to see what's going on, in my opinion. But that's just me. So
I like Jeff's suggestion in the chat here for, we should address CMC's question.
Jeff can wait. Jeff he's a mod in my chat. He's fine.
So how long have you played the game so far? So I'm assuming they're talking about how long have we,
right.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm trying to think of how. I suppose I spent probably 5 hours, I would think, maybe trying it out before that call, but building it and then trying it out for, I would say at least 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, I'm probably in a similar boat, maybe closer to 7 or 8, just from trying to optimize everything. And before the championship, my friends were like, "Oh, you should hang out with us," and I'm like, "Nope, I'm optimizing this. I'm doing it. Sorry, we'll hang out another time. We've been in quarantine for how many months? All right, we win another day." So I've definitely played with it a lot, and for anyone who's like, "Well, AAA batteries, that's kind of," he's at 75%, and I played with him for 8 hours. Like, these batteries are going to last you a while, and like, no, and not for nothing too. The Xbox Series X controller, a piece of tech coming out in 2020 this year, has AA batteries that you need to put in the controller in order to make it work. So that shouldn't be as big of a deal as like, there's a battery. It's fine. Listen, go buy some batteries. You're fine. Okay. And the Lego designers can't tell you that. I'm going to tell you that. Relax. Go buy some batteries. It's fine. Rogue Runner. Hey, man. Brian, if you could use your bricks at home along with these sets to recreate any scene or level from a Mario game, what would you make?
That's a good question, Rogue Runner. I like that.
You are inferring that I have any creative ability at all. If I had everything at my disposal, then I would probably go with something akin to Paper Mario, because the Mario House set, as Justin said earlier, is very, very inspired by Paper Mario on the Nintendo 64. So I would go with that. And there's obviously so much you can do with the officially printed pieces and whatnot at your disposal right now. So Paper Mario isn't like what they had in mind. It's the original Super Mario Brothers. So if I had anything at my disposal, first thing would be to make 1-1 Super Mario Bros. Obviously, like that, I think is going to be made pretty frequently, and using the 2.5D aspect of the pieces, it could look really slick, especially with Mario, have it in scale and everything. That'll work really well. And there's definitely more room for unique sorts of levels. There's entire poison jungles. There's cloud mountains and things like that. So there's all different varieties that people can work with different color schemes as well. So, the printed, or rather the sticker parts, take you so far, but you can definitely add on to it. And yeah, the possibilities are endless apart from what is back over here. So.
Right. That's the beauty of it. And like you said, people are, if you just got to wait a little longer and we'll see what else comes out with it. And just see what else they can do. But I think there's a lot of possibilities there, which is speaking of possibilities with it, what Jeff had suggested earlier when you were asking for suggestions on like what you could do, Brian, on various videos, is like a tower build. So something that focuses much more on kind of building up, and then how you can incorporate, the enemies and stuff. Is that a thing very much in many of the Mario games where you go very high, or does that not feature in very many games, so it just doesn't make as much sense?
It does. Verticality, there's only like small sections where it happens. Usually it's a side-scrolling sort of deal, but there's definitely sections where you climb up a mountaintop, like what I did in my level where, Buzzy Beetle Benny is at the top of the tower and there's a mountain behind him, so you're going from high vertical places one to another. So climbing up is from Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, probably the Switch eventually. That does not, it has a lot of verticality because that's what the Catsuit does, is all vertical, climbing up walls and whatnot. But in terms of the frame of mind of 2D Mario, essential Super Mario World, Super Mario Brothers, that doesn't happen as often. But it's something I definitely showcase because that makes sense for Cat Mario. And you don't even need to make a level to get the idea of what that is, because it's the same concept of him climbing walls wherever. So, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And here's the coach showing off the Catsuit with the official video there.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
They have this massive like white box that they use in this video, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, because, building a Lego tower that tall is going to be a lot more pieces than you might think. And then you get to structural stability and all that. So I could see, even if you want to incorporate other Lego sets into it, get your Hogwarts castle, have them climb the astronomy tower or something. Like, it's fine. Mario can transcend any intellectual property. It's fine.
Can you foresee, I guess just in general, how do you foresee these products being used at LEGO conventions in the future? Do you see like massive layouts, or due to the kind of the time limitations and only having so much time to finish a level, are people not going to go, that crazy with it because they want to be able to actually play through it?
I mean, I feel like a lot of the fan designers are going to be very driven to just make the craziest and most large creation they can, because that's what I see a lot of the time. Like the people who are super invested in doing that are still going to do that. So you could totally elaborate on the Toad Town and make Bowser's Castle a whole lot more intimidating, and you can make your own Peach's Castle and things like that. So there's still plenty of room there and plenty of play functionality. Again, you can only go so far with the printed pieces in terms of enemies and whatnot. But as Nick showed, he has plenty of great ideas in the same form factor, as the same scale as the Mario sets, and they look good. It's not like they look bad. So taking that inspiration from like what people like Nick do is great. And I feel like the play might matter a little bit less. What I would love to see, provided hand sanitizer, etc., if there was a way to get kids to go to a show and use a Mario to go through the level that somebody has built at a show to get a high score, maybe get a prize, get a whatever. So that way it's that interactive element, like kind of like a GBC if you build a module or something like that. So there's a lot of interactive play that could happen at a show, as well as making it just super dope,
And the great thing about that would be you would kind of feel like then you're sitting down to almost play like a Mario video game, because it's a level designed by someone else. So you don't have the advantage of having put everything together yourself. And so you're figuring out, as you go along, you have to figure out the challenges and the difficult parts and what you should do. So yeah, I think that would be super cool if you can set that up in the right way to just have kids come through and try their hand at it, and then like get a prize or something for whoever's the highest score.
Milan asking, here's this guy again.
I'm back. Did you miss me?
So we'll get into this question and then go to the analysis of the last couple of sets that have been announced, but not in our hands yet. Milan asking, what can we expect from the next wave? Do you want the answer that I hope or the answer that I think is going to happen? Do you want me to put the corporate hat on? You want me to put the fan hat on? Which one?
Is this assuming that Brian gets hired as the Mario consultant in Billund, or?
I mean, if I get a trip to the Denmark to see what's popping off over there, the three of us hop on a plane. Let's see what happens. But in terms of a next wave, you have to think, in my opinion, the timing of these things as well. So Lego Super Mario releases in August. Plenty of time for them to market for Christmas. Cha-ching, here comes the money raining down from the sky. Grab all the coins. It's Super Coin Rush with the P-Switch. It's great, right? So I certainly hope that the Mario line is not in the same way as Harry Potter, where we only see it once a year, because I think Lego Super Mario totally has potential to be like Star Wars type of release. Like it seems like constantly there's always something popping out. So, and I try to envision, like, because I have that Lego brand retail experience. Shout out to the Lego store, Burlington, Massachusetts. What up? You're not watching, but hey. So I envision it like it would be at the Lego store with the different bays. So everything has a column, right? So Lego Super Mario right now, and Nick knows what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Lego Super Mario has one bay, one column full of all the sets. Now I could totally see, just like what happened with Minecraft, it started as 1, went to 2 to 3 to 4, and now it's a big section. So I could totally see Mario being a 4-bay section. So, and Harry Potter's getting there too with the amount of sets that are coming out. So I would say with what we have right now, there's big questions to be asked. Where's Luigi? Hello? Right? So,
Where's Peach?
I'm sorry?
Where's Peach?
Where's Peach? Where is, Wario? So you have to think like mainstream, what does Lego want to do? So if the starter course is labeled as a starter course, for me, there's no reason that there couldn't be multiple starter courses in development and available for you to buy. So I would say Luigi would be an easy pick for a starter course, same price, $60. And instead of having Bowser Jr. and the Goomba, you have a theme more around spooky Luigi's Mansion 3. So maybe EGAD is the ally in that sense. King Boo is already available in one of the sets that we'll talk about in a minute, but there's a different version of King Boo. He's a lot more intimidating and cooler, in my opinion. So there's that. And in terms of 2D Mario, there's plenty to still draw from. But I'll show my bias with the 3D sets. It's totally in the wheelhouse to make 3D based Mario sets, because Mario Kart, I don't know if either of you know this or people in the chat, whatever, is one of the top selling racing games of all time and one of the best consistently selling Mario games of all time. If you're going to look me dead in the eye and say that Lego isn't going to do anything pertaining to Mario Kart with how much they love cars, they love putting wheels on things, they love speed champions, they're gonna. Give it time. Give it time, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe there's going to be some interactive color sensing element there. Who knows? But give it time. So I hope that there's things like that. I could see another wave of these sets, but I would like to think Lego knows full well what people want. It's just a matter of when. So maybe by this time next year or Christmas time next year, there's going to be an entirely different wave and type of Mario set on the shelves. That's what I think. But again, nobody's told me anything. And if they did, I would tell you unless I signed a contract. So there we go.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, it's always hard to predict the future and what's going to come, but I think you hit on a lot of those. I would love to see the like a Luigi's mansion, like modular style building with the different floors from that.
I could do an entire piece of content telling you what I want the waves to be. Like, I see it in my head and it makes total sense. And obviously the people at Lego don't need my direction. They know what they're doing. They're creative people. Okay. But I can see it. I can see it on the shelves and I can see me playing with it and people playing it and loving it. And the thing too, you got to keep in mind is what are the best selling games on the Switch? The Switch is one of the fastest selling Nintendo consoles of all time. What are the highest selling consoles or rather games there? So you're going to see things like Legend of Zelda. I mean, right? Legend of Zelda. There's Splatoon. There's Smash Brothers. Don't even get me started. There's plenty to work with over the next 20 years just to catch up to what has happened in 2020, let alone what's going to come out in the future. So, yeah.
And you made that
going back in
comparison.
time.
Right.
You made that comparison to Star Wars earlier. I mean, look at Star Wars. We're what, just about 20 years in with Star Wars and just the range of products they've done there over the years.
And how many
do in 20 years with Nintendo?
Right. How many Anakin Starfighters from episode 3 have we gotten? How many X-Wings? How many AT-ATs? Like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
So we should dive into those sets you mentioned earlier.
Sure. Instead of me gushing on about it, we'll get our opinions overall of the 9 more Super Mario sets as Timmy O'Hanlon has brought up over here from Brick Set. So the first one here, I guess we can talk about the character packs. I was shocked opening up that package and I'm like, what?
Yes, no, exactly. It's like it's rare that you're like, oh, this is so much more value than I expected.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, honestly, like I think these are an amazing value. Like I would take these over a minifig pack any day because like you get obviously the amazing character, which is also brick built. None of these are like lame prefab things. Like yes, there are a lot of prefab elements in some of them, but they're necessary. And then to have just a little bit of scenery and getting a couple of additions to be able to add to your Lego Super Mario levels, it's just mind-boggling. I couldn't believe it.
Which one did you get, Nick? I can't remember from the
Para Goomba.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, it's the Flying Goomba." Listen, Nick, you got to be professional here. Know all the names verbatim, okay?
Here's the one I got. This is the Fuzzy. It's called, right, Brian?
Yes, nice. That is my least favorite Mario enemy. I hate them in Paper Mario.
It comes down like that, and then you
land. Oh, that's amazing! Look at that, boom.
And the great thing about these packs, they're perfectly designed for you to get a buttload of them. So you don't need to just get one of everything if you didn't want to. A lot of the Lego minifigure series, like I said in the review video, you get one of them and that's about it. Only a few of them could be, littered throughout your Lego city or whatever. But these ones here, there's plenty of Mario enemies throughout the entire, any level, whenever. So I think there's, for some people, more value in potentially buying 6 of these and adding to your play in your Mario level, as opposed to the Piranha Plant Slide or something like that, depending on what you want out of the level. So if you're going for all, water level, you're going to get a ton of the urchins. You're going to get a lot of the blooper and really deck out your level that way. So there's a lot of variety there, and you can still feel these packs pretty well. I knew I got a Buzzy Beetle before opening it. And it still seems like every every single figure here has a unique thing that you can feel out, like the coral on the blooper, a whole bunch of things. So
like even just having looked at the characters individually at first, because that's all we knew about them, I had figured out like I've been doing minifig feeling for many, many years, having worked at the Lego store like Brian. Like it was determinable that you could do this with just the characters, but now knowing that they all have individual pieces as well, it's going to make it substantially more like easier to figure out, you know, which pack you got in your hands. So
and you're looking at, like, when I first opened it, I'm like, oh, are these all the characters on the front? And they are. So you don't have to look up a list or be like, oh, what piece am I looking for again? You can see it all on there. So it works out well.
Mm-hmm.
And going back into future prediction mode real quick, Brian, with those characters, so these are kind of a lot of the smaller, like side enemies, that sort of thing you have here. So outside of what they've shown so far, what types of, you know, characters from the Mario games would you say would fit well in this sort of line?
Yeah, so you're not going to get any character specific, you know, bomb variants. So I'm thinking like, you know, Bombette from Paper Mario. You're not going to get things like that. They're going to be very general enemies. And you're not going to see things like a Paracoopa because that's a bigger build. That's probably going to be in a set, you know, but we haven't seen, like, we see the red shell and the spiny here, but not in the Koopa form. So you could still take some of these pieces in and, you know, mess with them a little bit. Off the top of my head, in terms of basic enemies, that would constitute it being a blind bag build. It wouldn't be a Hammer Bro, a cheap, but you do get those in a couple other sets. None that are super vanilla like these are. A lot of these have been around for years and years and years. So, you know, if they come out with some more obscure characters or, you know, more recent things, I could see that. But I think for here, like, this is a solid lineup, unless you get real crazy. So
I do think it's really important to note that the bag does say Series 1 on it. So that obviously shows potential for future series. Brian, my only other thought would be maybe instead of something like more focused on the characters, do you think there would be potential for them to give you elements of the map that would kind of add on to your levels, like more of like a level add-on pack rather than a character add-on pack?
I mean, I think that's what a lot of those packs, like the Piranha Plant Slide, are. So in terms of that form factor, it being a $5 thing you grab off of one of those racks that is not a set itself, I don't think you could pack in enough pieces to make it worth $5. Because then you're going to go $10 like for the suits and whatnot. Gotcha. So I think there's enough. And like even in the starter pack and a couple other sets, there's a couple extra pieces in there that you can mess with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to note, like, those connection pieces don't have printing on them. They're not specific. So if anything, you would see maybe purple platforms for the poison levels or light blue for clouds or something like that before you saw a small pack like that for exclusively level play.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So let's see. What was the next set down here?
Guarded Fortress.
Oh,
yeah.
So excited for this one.
That piranha mechanic is really dope, man. I
didn't realize is it ever. I remember Jonathan demoing that for us during the event, and so impressive.
Totally. Yeah, I love this, and it totally makes sense that, you know, it's not designed for you to go through the castle. You don't go through the castle in Super Mario Brothers. I like that they have the Mario flagpole as opposed to the Bowser one. So before you complete a level, it has the Bowser printing, and then, you know, once you complete it, it turns to Mario. So now you get that Mario one there. I think there could have been an opportunity for a Para Koopa in a red shell here instead of just another Koopa, but, you know, there's, you know, always more stuff in the works. I love the lava detail leading up to the castle. It's a bit spiky, so you can see it's not just a plain red, you know, like plates going through there. And obviously the bomb is another great addition. But yeah, the highlight is the POW block, the Piranha Plant play functionality, and the castle, obviously. For $50, this is a more in-line price to part ratio than some of the other sets. But and this is important to Mario as well. A lot of these sets are, you know, original works, but and inspired by Lego. This is straight out of Super Mario Brothers, so it works well.
And for anyone who's wondering, the Piranha Plant, what it does is, I believe it's either, I think it was on a chain, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, so you can see it in the top right. It's like connected by those Technic links. So it's
the Technic links. That's what it is. Yeah. And so what you actually need to do is take Mario, bounce on the little gray part just in front of it, and that launches the Piranha. And your goal is to get it into the warp pipe. like put them back inside. So what a creative way to kind of, express kind of something that you do in the game. So super duper awesome.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder than you think. So that's a cool play functionality there. Jeff, real quick, is asking in the chat, the flagpole is really tiny compared to Mario. Will it support the plumber? I actually did that for a photo just to take a picture of it, and it definitely bends because that's just a typical, I don't know, is that like a hose piece? Is that technically what it's called? Or
Flex tube. Flex tube is what it's mostly known as.
Yeah, so it's not designed to hold Mario. It's not like a stiff pole that you would see like that, what's connecting the clouds at the top there. So it'll hold them, but I wouldn't leave it for like 5 hours because it'll bend eventually. Mario's the thick boy. He needs to get that Planet Fitness black card and work out a little. But
and this, for people who weren't here earlier, I believe this is the set with, as Justin pointed out, the new brown color, correct?
Yes, the nougat, right?
Okay, wait, which nougat is new here? I'm actually.
I don't know.
One of these brown colors is new, but yeah, I'm not sure which one.
I frankly did not find anything that showed me any signs of anything being new color-wise.
Hey, you are the professional Lego builder out of like all of us.
I pulled up pictures because he mentioned it was in like the Mickey and Minnie, and I went and looked, and I couldn't find a new brown there. I might be missing something. Jonathan certainly seemed to be asking about it, so I'm very curious. But
if he had to ask about it, but that's saying something. But
yeah.
It's cool.
We'll figure that one out for a future video.
Yeah. Right. The Desert Pokey here, set number 71363. Monty Mole, shout out the homie. I believe Monty Mole, he shows up in a promotional set as well. So this is your typical way to get him in a $20 set. The Pokey play functionality there is great. Just like from the games, you got to take out each of the segments from the Pokey. And I'm glad that translated well to Lego form. Pokey are typically pretty round, but it still looks good. And it's 180 pieces. So for anyone who cares about that price to part ratio, you still got a good value there regardless. So that'll go well with the Piranha Plant Slide or whatever else you got.
That face print on the mole, is it the mole?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That face print is hilarious. I don't know. Something about that is just.
Yes. He's a small one. So yeah, that's great. And yeah, the Pokey printing looks great too. It's a very nice little succinct set. So, and you can get a couple of those too. That's the other thing about this line. Most of them, you could get multiple of them to combine them and make something real crazy. But yeah, I like this one a lot. And in that same vein, coming up soon is the Womp, not Fortress, but it's a Womp set in the same idea, $20. So
yeah, I gotta say, I'm like really excited to just get a feel of that mechanism, like in person, because like the Piranha Power Plant Slider, for example, or the Piranha Plant Power Slide, I think is like one you'll look at and you're like, oh, that looks neat, but like just getting to play with it firsthand just makes such a big difference with so many of these. So yeah, this looks like another super duper fun one. So
totally. And yeah, that's the one I was talking about before. The Womp's Lava Trouble. I'm a Womp guy because of Mario 64, so that's cool. You get a little lava guy. I don't know his name, so that's when Nick gives me heat because I don't know the name of that enemy. For me, giving him heat on the other one. And there's obviously the Koopa shell there, which is something I wanted to implement into my level, but I just didn't find an organic way to do that. So they clearly have the ability to, it's within the system of Super Mario to have like not every single, enemy shell or anything needs to have that pre-applied sticker on there. So this is just another good supplementary set. You get the P block, and this works well in the same way that the Pokey does. The Pokey has a more unique play functionality, but this still has a good value to it here.
How do you defeat the Womp to get the P block? Does it?
Yeah. So in the universe, you walk up to the Thwomp or the Womp rather, the Womp, and he'll kind of face plant in front of you. Once he face plants, you boop his back, and you're done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that one. That's an expansion set. So the Boomer Bill Barrage, we've already been very familiar with. You get the Mushroom, the Boomer, and the Shy Guy. So that's pretty cool. Then Mario's House, 205 pieces. I believe this is a $30 set. So if you want to have Mario take a nice little relaxing nap there underneath the tree, go for it. Definitely has some inspiration from Paper Mario on the N64, as Justin said before. Maybe not 100% directly, but definitely the 2.5D works here. Mario doesn't typically have a house in any other game besides that series. So there you go. And obviously the main draw is Yoshi. Yoshi is more of an interactive thing rather than a rideable companion friend for Mario. So any Yoshi fans out there will appreciate the brick-built Yoshi, which works really well with all things considered with the printing. So good stuff here as well.
Yeah, I definitely think it would have been a big miss for Lego not to have Yoshi right off the bat. So very awesome to see him come to life.
Toad's Treasure Hunt. We've obviously seen that. Really cool. Like it a lot. There's the Thwomp Drop. So this is, do we know the price on this one? If it says it right there or no? Probably
I think it was $39.99.
Yeah, 40. So yeah, 393 pieces. This is definitely a companion to the Bowser's Castle, if you wanted to go with that. The Thwomp, very iconic Mario enemy in any of these lava-themed levels. Obviously, great printing there, and a cool idea with the Thwomp Drop. Anytime you get multiple enemies or multiple play functions, I'm always a fan of it with these Mario sets. So you have the little lava buddies dropping down to potentially mess with Mario, the Thwomp, and then you also have the skeleton platforms, which eventually will drop into the abyss of nowhere. So be careful of that. But yeah, a lot of play functionality here. And if you got that with Bowser's Castle, you're working really well.
Yeah, that'll make for a really nice combination between those for sure.
King Boo and the Haunted Yard. Ooh, this one, when I saw it. So just so everyone knows, when I was looking at these sets, I had the sets for a couple of days. I think we all did before we had our chance at the app. So the instructions are obviously in the app. So once I saw the app and it had all of these sets in here, like I got my hands on the app 2 weeks ago. So I was like, huh, what? No idea that these existed.
Yeah, so that was our like everybody's first time getting to know that there were going to be way more sets than we had kind of thought.
So me seeing the King Boo Haunted Yard, I was like, all right, they're going to go into the ghost levels. Cool. This is a retailer exclusive from what we know. We don't know where, but yeah, keep that in mind in case you want to, but you can still get it on the Lego website. King Boo, you know, if you told me they were going to do Boo in Lego form, I'd be like, how are you going to pull off the roundness? And plot twist, the answer is you don't. You just make it a cube and call it a day. And you know what? It works. It totally works. And that's that Lego charm. That's what makes it work. And, you know, all the little details here, and it sticks out so much more than any of the other sets when I'm looking at them. So I can't wait to get my hands on this. It's $50. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemies in that one. That's pretty good.
I'm seeing a lot of Goombas popping up in these sets. Do you feel like that's kind of the kind of base enemy that will be included in a lot of them? It seems like you'll like if you bought all the sets, you would end up with the most of those of all the enemies. Yeah,
I mean that just makes the most sense between that and Koopa. Yeah, that's the Goomba you can litter anywhere and just add a little more difficulty to anything. But yeah, and it depends on the environment as well. And like I did in my level with the Goomba stack, that is a very common thing that happens. So if you want to stack them all up and have them in different, you know, or specific places, it adds a lot more challenge because there's nothing connecting those Goomba together. So if you want to do a flawless run, you have to make sure that the Goomba stack doesn't fall over, which happened plenty of times. Luckily, in the championship, it did not. So that's very very careful to not do that. So that adds a little more difficulty there if you stack them up. If you just toss them anywhere,
Kevin's coming into the chat and hating on
Hey, Kevin doesn't know what he's talking about. Get this man out of here.
I think he's talking, he said Boo, not King Boo.
All right.
So
all right.
You might be talking about this little guy instead, which
that is not a Boo. That is not
okay. I didn't think it was either.
No. Yeah, so they could still add like Boo to like Series 2. Like there's a lot of enemies like these guys in here they could add for Series 2. But I mean, if they were to do it, I'm sure they tested it. And to get like a character like Boo or Kirby or whatever in like a round Lego form without it looking just like it's it's tough unless you make your own pieces. So yeah.
We will see. I'll be curious. As to what else may come.
So that seems to be all of them from what we have seen so far. The Bowser's Castle, none of us have our hands on, but that is one that we've known about for a while. I like the way that Bowser looks, just from what I remember here. But yeah, I'm excited to see the rest of these, obviously goes without saying. And we should have our hands on them around the time of release. So if they don't get it to me day one, I will be at the Lego store day one, regardless. So you'll get that sweet, awesome content, Hanlon Brothers. Don't you worry. And you don't even have to give me the money for them. I'll take it right out of my own account. That's fine.
The lunch money.
Yeah, there we go.
Brian, I was curious. So the Boomer Bill Barrage, I tried to find a reference to Boomer Bill anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that a new character?
There's all sorts of different Bullet Bill type characters. There's Bonsai Bill. There's like Bullet Bill. Yeah, there's all sorts of things like that. That design itself, I believe, is like a style inspired by Super Mario World.
Okay.
Mario World, big Bullet Bill. It's not called a Bonsai Bill or a Boomer Bill, but that that's
kind of okay.
Yeah. That's what immediately came to mind. Kevin in the chat might be a better eye for that, but it's just like a Bullet Bill.
Ted.
What?
Torpedo Ted. He just threw it in chat.
Oh, there we go. Well, Torpedo Ted is underwater. I don't know if these are underwater. You know,
they are on the water level.
Yeah, they're all in the water. So that was
that might actually link it up and make it make sense.
Torpedo Ted. No, well, those look different. They have a bit more squinty eyes with the propeller. So I don't know, Kevin. Just saying.
I think Lego took some creative liberties with this one in particular.
Yeah, and the Piranha Plant Slide. You know, oh yeah, you're just tossing out obscure bill names. Yeah, and there's plenty of them too. So
okay, yeah.
The Piranha Plant Slide, there's nothing there. So, and you know, this could be something they come out with in a new Mario game. Who knows?
Yeah.
That mechanic though with those, it's like I could never get around like more than once without them knocking Mario off if you were actually doing it at like a good speed.
Yeah, you have to time it perfectly.
I found going back and forth was a little more effective. Like you could force the bills to spin past you, but not have them hit you. And that seemed to be an effective way to rack up some coins.
Yeah, totally.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think I tried much just back and forth like that. So
totally.
Is there anything else, Brian, on your level that you have not tried yet, or have you pretty much done it all so far?
I think I've optimized a lot of what I wanted my level to be. You know, when you go with the Piranha Plant Power Slide or the Boomer Bill Barrage, that is more of a time commitment that you really need to spend to, you know, be on the Piranha Plant Slide, optimize your movement there. So I wanted to keep the emphasis on always keep moving instead of focusing on just one thing. Because if that happens to go wrong, then who knows where else you could earn coins. So there's plenty of opportunities in case you miss a particular portion or you're like, all right, you know, this didn't register right, because there is some cooldown time between you scanning different sections there. So you can't just spam a bunch of different things in a row and then go to the goal. You have to kind of time it out. So
I think that's to actually encourage like you actually moving Mario around like he normally would through a level. Yep. You'll actually often hear while you're just walking around, he racks up coins as well. So there is encouragement to like Lego's definitely really, really thought this out, and they've put in a lot of sort of measures to ensure that you don't just do the level in a super lame and unexciting way. They really want you to kind of embody what Super Mario is all about, and that's playing through the level properly.
Yeah, and that's that level design philosophy. You start with something that isn't too difficult, you build your way up to it, and you learn the mechanics of whatever it is along the way. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and that's just from me playing Mario games my entire life. I just kind of get what's going on, and there's different paths and secret paths and all that. So it's a lot of stuff going on.
That's right. Do you think we'll see a Lego Mario video game based on the sets?
I don't know. Like, so the only collaboration like that I can think of is when Mario or Nintendo teamed up with Minecraft to do a Super Mario World. So there's a Minecraft mashup pack in the Nintendo Switch and Wii U versions where you can access the courtyard for Mario 64, Delfino Isle, whatever. And that's just one thing. So I don't know if there could be a whole game based around this. I would more... I don't even know. Like,
maybe something more like what Lego did with Forza Horizon, where something in one of the games turned into Lego. So maybe Mario Maker could have some Lego tools for people to use that are based on some of the games that you play with the Lego Mario sets. I feel like that kind of makes a little bit more sense to me.
So the thing that I just thought of here, which I don't think it's in Nintendo's philosophy to do it with like a redeemable suit in the game or something, but in Super Mario Odyssey, you can unlock a bunch of different suits, and one of them is like the Mario 64 outfit, and obviously paying homage to that. One of them is also like the 8-bit version of Mario, like jumping up, but instead it's like a 3D model, and he doesn't move like 8-bit Mario would. It's just the model of him. So like when you're running, it's literally just like this, and you jump and it's like that. So it's like, it's not a comprehensively done model. So what if in a future Mario game there was that same idea with Lego Mario, where it's just like, this Mario here, and he's just waddling around, and when he jumps, he's making the noise as if you were listening to it through the character here. So it's a little bit craggly, it's a little whatever. When you pop out of the Odyssey, Lego Mario time, and then he's jumping along, and like the same idea. So that's just me off the top of my head. But I don't know if that's something Nintendo would want to do, or I think it's more organic that they took the Mario ideas and made that into Lego. I don't know how effectively that would work, making a full game from Lego into Mario. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. It'd be you'd be translating it like 2 or 3 times then by the time you actually get to the gameplay.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
They think there's a big enough market for it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that there was a lot of that life to toys, toys to life perspective when it came to this, because talking to a lot of my Lego friends, they're like, well, Dimensions and blah, 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 which Lego Dimensions is my favorite Lego game because it has all of that crossover compatibility and it does something different. And the actual figures, we got figures you'll never see IP from potentially ever again. Like, when would Lego make an A-Team van? Probably not otherwise.
Right.
So, that life to toys translates so much better because you have that hands-on, and it doesn't exclusively work with the app. You can just mess around with Mario and play around the house, and it's fine. And, the staticness of a typical Lego figure, it really sets in. You're like, man, like, this figure isn't alive, like the Lego movie, obviously, right? But like, it's not in the same way. And like, I would love if, like Nick kind of said earlier, like if that tech went into being a minifigure that big, if that happens, I mean, technology, it's going to happen, right? But like, man, what a day when we're in the retirement home and we're like, back in my day, there was so who knows, man.
So many possibilities.
And there's so many possibilities for suits as well. We have the propeller, builder, cat, and fire flower suit. There's the ice flower suit, the penguin suit, the squirrel suit, like all the live long day, I personally think that $10 for each of the suits might be a tough thing to swallow for a lot of parents out there, where it's literally like 13 pieces. It's like, So we'll see how well those do, but there's plenty of possibility there with that. But yeah, I mean, I love the cat suit, and I love all of it, obviously. Karibo shoe suit next, yeah. Tanuki Mario, the bee suit. There's so many possibilities.
Nick, I don't know if we got your answer earlier when we were talking about like favorite Mario games and kind of what your your kind of main interests are within the Mario side of things.
I as someone actually mentioned in the chat, I mean, like Mario Kart and Mario Party are probably my two like most prominent Mario games throughout my life. But I did play a lot of Super Mario Galaxy, and I absolutely love that whole concept of the little 3D worlds that you would bounce between with them. So if I were to pick a favorite, it would be Super Mario Galaxy for sure.
Yeah, for me, the most Mario games I've ever played was when I had a Wii, growing up, like with my siblings and friends playing, like I think Mario Kart and then Mario Party 8. Those two for me are definitely like the biggest influences on the Wii. When I was super young, had like Mario Party Sunshine on the GameCube. I believe that's the name of it. So I did play that a bit as well. But I would say the stuff on the Wii was the main influence, and I haven't picked up a Switch yet, so I still haven't gotten into all of that stuff too extensively. But
Brian's just probably sitting there being so disappointed in us. And he left. See?
He was so disappointed he just walked away.
He just walked away. Yeah. Well, we do that sometimes, you know. Oh, look at Kevin. He's unhappy either. Yeah, Mario Party Sunshine is definitely not a title. I knew that. I didn't say anything, though.
No, it's, whatever that one is called.
There was Mario Party 6, and there was, like, the Sun and Moon character.
The Sunshine one on the GameCube. What, isn't there one of the Mario games called that, or am I completely making that up?
I think it's Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Thank you.
Found that crazy.
There you go.
No one's saying it, so.
I don't know. There's definitely something with that name in it.
They're leaving me hanging here. Leaving us both hanging. We're just looking really terrible while Brian's apparently totally disappointed. There you go. It was Super Mario.
Brian makes all of the Mario content.
Why did you run away, Brian?
Super Mario Sunshine. There you go, Kevin. I mean, it was close enough. I mean, it's not like
I do. It's a facilities. Come on. That's what. Whenever Mario's there, that's what that means.
That's a big Mario. Where the heck did you get that?
So my aunt actually got this for me. Instead of giving me, something she thought would be more appropriate, she's like, I'll just give this to you. You like Mario, right? I'm like, yeah, why not? So I put it in the background.
That is actually like the dopest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, right. It's like, and I have a big head too, so that's
exactly. No, it says a lot. It says a lot.
It says much more than I wanted to. So yeah, whenever I go to use the facilities, that's what that means there. So. On my live streams, I play a bunch of birds picking at food on a picnic table, so I can't do that here. But yeah.
While you were gone, I was butchering the name of different Mario games, so you're welcome.
Yeah, you said Mario Party Sunshine.
I want to thank you guys for listening, watching, and tuning in. I'm going to be going away.
Brian will be out permanently from the
exactly.
Oh, you can suffer for 18 more minutes, Brian. Come on.
I just have like the vaguest of memories of that game on the GameCube because like my older siblings played it, and I think I played it a bit, but it's just like a little bit from that game is all I remember. But yes, it's the ones on the Wii are what I really remember.
Yeah. The rumor right now is that they're going to come out with HD or reimaginings, remasters of Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy for this year, the 35th anniversary of Mario. So going back to what I was saying earlier, you got to look at what Nintendo is doing because they work years ahead of time as well, obviously. So there's a lot to look at and analyze with all these things here. So they know.
Do you think in related Nintendo properties? So I know there's the Zelda Breath of the Wild stable that's in the review that's supposed to be announced any day now on Ideas. Do you think that's more likely because they have the property now, or less likely because they're going to be making their own Zelda sets?
So I think if you look at Lego Ideas as a concept, the previous projects that have been approved. So if I just go on the website and just look at myself, I believe there have been instances where Lego has had the license and they still, make the thing. So perfect example right here, Steamboat Willie. Obviously, Lego and Disney have been in cahoots forever. So that clearly didn't stop that. And obviously the partnership with Nintendo has been in the works for years that people didn't know about. So I think that doesn't necessarily take away from this set being a potential. If there were going to be anything from Breath of the Wild, the stable is a fantastic choice. It has plenty of detail, plenty of character going on in here. It's integral to the game. other than the Hyrule Castle that got approved, or not approved, but got 10,000 votes. That I think is more far-fetched only because it's a giant castle. So, and I firmly believe if they're going to do any castle in minifigure scale, they're doing Peach's Castle. I'm sorry, Kevin. They're not doing Hyrule Castle. It's not going to happen. But it might happen. Just Peach's Castle is going to come first. So, and that's just logical. So that works. Yeah, I don't see any conflict there. It's just a matter of obviously what Lego wants to do. I think it's a beautiful set, especially if you have the uniquely printed minifigures and other parts that go along with it. This could be an awesome set, and it's
Yeah, I chatted with the designer on last Friday for the Idea Spotlight stream of this, and then some of his other projects. And yeah, it was great just to get his insight into that. And the Beetle minifig in particular here, it was just fantastic, and he had a lot of fun designing that.
Yeah, totally. Like this is right out of the game, and Breath of the Wild is the best-selling Zelda game of all time. So this just makes sense. Like a lot of what Nintendo and Lego I feel are going to do in the future, it'll just make a whole lot of sense. So I'm excited.
Kevin would also like to let everyone know that he's unsubbed from all channels, from everyone on the stream, and anyone associated with anyone on the stream.
No, it's all good.
You think he's not doing us a favor by doing that? Sorry, Kevin.
No,
I did want to take a look because I'm trying to think now of past Zelda projects that have been rejected.
Yes.
And did any of those fall within the timeline of when Lego was already working with Nintendo? We just didn't know it yet.
I believe the one that was
there were two very early ones from 2011 I've found.
Yeah, no, that is just like
actually 3 projects from 2011.
Yeah, that's them being like, no, it's not happening.
Yeah, that was probably before they'd even really wanted to, which still seems crazy. But anyway, I'm trying to think, is there any other ones?
There was a King of Red Lions one from Wind Waker. There's one based on Ocarina. There's the Ganondorf's castle from Breath of the Wild right now. There's a stable.
There were no other projects, at least not based on my searching here. So there were the 3 from 2011, and then there's only been the 2 recent ones.
Yeah.
That have made it to 10K at least.
Yeah, and it's the quality of the projects as well. Like, it's Nintendo wanting to promote their newer IP, and obviously classic Zelda is obviously very important.
Yeah.
But Breath of the Wild is getting a sequel, and that is the best-selling Zelda game of all time. Like, it's the relevancy, it's the timing. Like, when you're putting something on Lego Ideas, why don't you take a page out of Nick's book? He had the Cybertruck done like that, and then there it goes. So
boom. Timing is everything.
Yep, exactly. So, and especially with Nintendo and Lego, all of a sudden, there they are. They're partnering together. Well, it just so happens that these 2 projects are right on time. So, yeah.
Kevin mentioned Iron Knuckle Encounter. Is that one of them that was?
Yeah, that was the one that I think was based on Ocarina. That was Young Link, I think. I'm not quite sure. My Zelda knowledge only goes so far. I am definitely a rookie with that, but yeah. And if I just look, I'm going to spitball here. We got a few minutes, right? Yeah.
You're good.
All right. So top selling Switch games. You got to look at like what Nintendo is focusing on and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
So the best selling of all time, Mario Odyssey. I firmly believe if they're going to do any minifigure scale sets, you're going to see Peach's Castle. You're going to see the Odyssey. Like, oh my, I'll go into cardiac arrest, call the coroner. I'm done.
Mario Odyssey, the game that has the like airship thing in it.
Okay. That's a hat. Yeah.
Yep. And like, oh man, don't even get me started. All right. So let's take a look at the top 10 best selling Switch games as of right now. Number 10, Luigi's Mansion 3. So based on the first game or the hotel, Luigi's Mansion 3, duh. Number 9 is New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. That's what we're seeing with these sets right now. Mario Party, you could kind of make a Mario Party set if you had more starter pack characters like that, if you really wanted to.
I'm sure there could be a game that you could eventually set up where you could play through an IRL Mario Party.
Totally, yeah. Splatoon 2, which Splatoon is a lot more popular and a lot less unknown by, I feel like, mainstream, but that is a very popular game, entirely original from Nintendo. Splatoon originally came out in 2015 on the Wii U, sold almost 10 million units so far in just like 2 or 3 years. So that game is so much fun, and that's all about splatting ink on the ground everywhere. So I could totally see Lego coming out, if it were minifigure scale, a piece where there's different colors of ink splatter that you could attach to all different areas of the floor and the walls and deck everything out.
It would be super fun.
It would be super fun. There's a lot of playability there. There's like rails that they turn into squids onto, and oh man, yeah, that is fit perfectly. Pokemon is under Mega Constructs right now, so that skips 5 and 6, and they do all of their merchandising, advertising, etc. is entirely separate from Nintendo. They have majority stake in Pokemon, but they are not owned by Nintendo. That is the Pokemon Company, 2 separate entities. Number 4 is Breath of the Wild. 3 is Odyssey. 2 is Super Smash Brothers. Obviously, minifigure series. Get the Ice Climbers, get Ganondorf in whatever form, Samus, etc. Totally fine. And then number 1, 23 million units is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Again, if you're going to tell me Lego is not doing anything with Mario Kart, you're wrong. They're gonna. Just give it time. It's Mario Kart. Like, if anyone knows Mario from anywhere, it's gonna be Mario Kart, man. Totally.
Right. I feel like Mario Kart just has a much more broader appeal to people. Like anyone can sit down and just do a racing game, and you don't have to get super into it and figure out how to beat all the different enemies and everything. So because of that, yeah, it just has it's had a much broader appeal over the years.
And everyone knows what it is. Mario Kart, Mario Party, the original Super Mario Brothers. Like, there's so much potential over what could happen here, and again, I can't emphasize it enough. Like, this is just the beginning. This is wave 1, year 1. It hasn't even been a full year yet. We don't know what's going to happen. And I think there's so much that could unfold over the next year, either fans creating entirely new things and Lego releasing more things. It would be incredible. Connects had the Mario license, didn't they? Yes, they did. And what I initially have been talking to like Joshua and Nick in like separate on their own channels and whatnot, like for a while now, like, you know, Lego, or rather, Connects did not make any sets based on Super Mario Odyssey. The last couple of sets they happened to do with Mario was Super Mario 3D World or New Super Mario Brothers Wii, which was a long time ago. So there was a whole period they missed. And if they had the license at the time, they would have done that, because that was the most popular Mario game of all time. Is Odyssey is one of them. So that's why they were working with Lego. Another point for me being right, put the crown on my head. So Lego Nintendo is going to be crazy. You're totally right, Mini Brick. Absolutely. Let's see, Lego Mario Kart video game. You could see a kart, like you know,
a character being added.
Yeah, totally. I could absolutely see that. Lego Mario. They added Metal Mario, Gold Mario, and regular Mario. They can add Lego Mario. It's fine. Let's see. I think Pikmin will make a very good theme as a theme as well. You could see a Captain Olimar with a couple of the micro trophy figures as Pikmin in a minifigure blind bag, but I don't know about a full theme. Pikmin isn't like super duper mainstream.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. QC Luigi coming in the January wave, if there is one. Yes, in the form of a starter pack, just like with Mario. It makes totally
logical. Yeah, by far.
Same thing for Princess Peach. That might look weird proportionally, but yeah, that could absolutely happen.
I think they can make her work.
Yeah, totally. Typically, Toad is like the player 4, but they didn't make Toad in that form, so I don't know. Maybe it's a different color Toad or whatever. That Toad is adorable, by the way. I love the way they did the head mold there. It's beautiful.
It looks so funny without the head, the top part on, though. Which is
that looks especially weird. Look at that. It's got just big old brain in there. Great.
Yeah, Toad and Toadette were fantastic. Of all the stuff we got, definitely the best set that they sent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, and I say that in my review a lot, and I'll put emphasis on everybody who's put out content. It was like I tweeted about it. It was so cool seeing everybody post everything at once. Obviously, when the embargo lifts, right? But seeing the different way that people approached everything and their varying knowledges, either extended knowledge or knowing nothing at all, giving a different perspective, and it all being released at once is just that's my fanboy talking. It's like a special moment, but being there, it's cool, Shy Guy Heart build is great. Yes, you're totally right, Alyssa. Where is the Lego Mario Championship and what channel is it on? I don't think that's something Beyond the Brick is doing, but I know I can post stuff on my channel. I got permission to do whatever. So
I did a video kind of highlighting my little experience.
Yeah.
So it'll be up to individuals to decide whether or not they create.
Yeah, sure. It'll be around, and I'll see what I can do, Eli. I did. So I know on my channel I did my initial unboxing, the package of what it was. So I'd love to do some smaller things there, but obviously my dedication goes to the Hanlons first.
Yeah, and we might incorporate, I don't know, some of that content with stuff Brian does in the future. But yeah, Nick put a great video together since he won the whole thing and kind of showing that whole process. So that definitely check that out if you want to see more from the championship stream.
And Kevin, you're just a short drive from me. If you want me to go down to CT and let me show you all the sets, I'm down to do that, man. You let me know. The POW block is great. All the printing on the pieces is great. So if there's any final unbiased questions questions you have with unbiased answers, totally toss them in the chat. I know we're wrapping up here and I am losing my voice, so I gotta get some food in my stomach, and then I believe Mr. BrickinNick and I and Behind the Bricks are doing a thing, so we'll see.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you guys have a stream later tonight then that people can check out?
Yeah. We'll be live over on my channel at 7 p.m. Eastern, so 4 hours from now. It'll be me, Brian, and our friend Between the Bricks from New Zealand, who also competed in a different Lego Super Mario Championship. And we're just going to hang out, enjoy the sets, play around with them. Maybe Brian will be finally willing to challenge me once again.
Ooh, we'll see.
Okay, we'll have to check that out then. So what time was that again? If people want
7 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/BrickinNick, the name you see on screen right here.
Yep.
Awesome. And I should mention for people, if you're tuning into Quarantine Cast for the first time, we did a whole episode a few weeks ago with Nick on this. So if you want to see, more from Nick and just get his whole thoughts on everything in the Lego community, definitely go check out that, because I think you were with us the full 3 hours, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
During that episode. So yeah, you can get a lot of good insight from Nick on everything he's doing on his channel and stuff. So definitely check that out as well on Beyond the Brick, and check that out, and then go over tonight and you can get more Mario content on Nick's Twitch channel as well.
And final questions here from Indiana Skywalker. Have you heard any rumors about a Mario D2C? I've heard about a minifigure scale Peach's Castle. Is that possible? I know nothing. I would tell you.
I wish.
Unless I signed a dotted line, I'll take the oath. I know nothing. All right. Obviously, if I do get entrusted sacred info, I can't tell you, but I know nothing. So take that for what it is.
Nothing, guys.
And trust me, it was so tough for me not to tell my audience, guys, if you want to see me happy, wait a week. It's going to be awesome. And yeah, all the comments on that unboxing video are like, ah. So, and all the moms on Facebook love it too. Let's see here. What's your favorite expansion set? I think each of us can answer that. I'd say the Toad Treasure Hunt for adding on to the starter set.
Is that considered an expansion set? I mean, I feel like that's so big. I don't really think of that as an expansion.
No, it's not, but
it says it on the box though. I just looked.
Okay, I guess to me that's like a whole thing on its own.
Sure.
Like I think of the Bullet Bill and the Piranha Slide is the expansion stuff of what we got.
Totally.
I think in a sense though, if they don't market it that way, people might get the idea that they can just have that set. So it has to be obviously, yes, it's amazing building experience in and of itself. But if it wasn't labeled as expansion set, people might go, cool, this is all I need to enjoy Lego Super Mario. So
that's true. That's a good point.
You can attach the warp pipe and the end goal flag to that, and you got a full level. You're good.
Yeah. Oh, no, exactly. Yeah. But you still need the starter course to do it. So.
Alexander asking, are they going to make a Donkey Kong minifigure like the new Mario minifigure, or maybe like Bowser? Again, that makes sense. I could totally see a Donkey Kong 8-bit with the girders and everything hopping up. That makes sense. We'll just have to wait and see.
Lots of waiting and seeing.
Yes, unfortunately. It does not have the Mario figure, right? No, it does not. So the Mario figure only comes in that initial starter set, and everything else does not have Mario in it. So you do have to get that there. Can you see any other Nintendo properties made in the same style? No. I don't believe any other franchise warrants the platforming and the interactivity in the same way. Zelda is all quest-based, and I don't think that would translate as well. And I think there's a reason you're seeing Super Mario in this particular style first. So,
I mean, really, like Donkey Kong's technically a separate one. That would probably be that makes sense. Right?
But Donkey Kong is known for jungle platforming and whatnot. Where he really shines are like the minecart levels. So I could see that happening. Like from Indiana Jones, there was that whole minecart section. Mm-hmm. That could totally happen. And I guess one final question here, or point here, a Zelda board game might work, but we all know how Lego games do. Yep. And you just got to wait and see, man. Just got to wait and see what unfolds. And 2020 has obviously thrown a wrench into everything. It's the year that, I just want to scratch off and just move on. But, I
brought you Lego Super Mario, so you don't want to do that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The one shining light of this year so far is that. So I can't complain all too much. Well, I can't complain all too much.
Your childhood dream came true in 2020.
Yeah. I mean, there's more on the childhood dream list. So I got to get cranking on that, but we'll see. 2021 is, I feel like, going to be the year, once more movies get put back onto in theaters, and then shows and everything, it's all going to get revitalized and back. We can go to shows again, and I can see all of you. It's going to be great. I can talk your ear off about Mario IRL. It's going to be tremendous.
Gonna need a lot of apple juice.
Yes, lots. Oh, the apple juice, the vacation juice flowing, Nick, flowing. But no, this has been fun. This has been a great time, and I appreciate you guys being here and allowing me to be here. And it's good company that we had today on the live stream. I look forward to doing more of that in the quarantine cast and the IRL as well.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Brian, for your insight. Thanks, Nick, for joining us.
Thank you for having me again today, guys. It was, as Brian said, really awesome just getting to chat with you all. And I hope everybody can feel our excitement. Again, even when I first look at this Lego Super Mario stuff, I was like, why aren't these regular sets? But getting your hands on it, guys, like, trust me, you are going to be excited. You are going to be excited.
That's for sure. And hopefully Brian will one day recover from you beating him in the tournament. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for that too.
But thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the insight from both Jonathan, the Lego designer, earlier in the stream, and then our rest of the discussion here. I think it's been really good. I know we'll definitely have more Mario content on Beyond the Brick. Nick, you can go check out Nick's stream tonight on his channel, and then everything else he'll be bringing you in the future as well there. So thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you on another stream real soon.